Welcome to another episode, Pound for Pound Boxing Report. Um, been off for a week, and now we're back. I'm your host, Michael. Joining me on the show this week, uh, brand new to the show, first timer, Adrian Yoshino from Truth and Facts About Boxing from Bo's show. Uh, been a while since she's been on. Isha, the casual boxing fan, regular Daniel, as well as Scorsese and Bo from Truth and Facts About Boxing. How everybody's doing this evening?
Good, Michael. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. For those who are new to Pound for Pound Box Report, Pound for Pound Box Report is a live YouTube show and a podcast as well as blog discussing all things boxing. The motto is when boxing is good, we will talk about it. When it's bad, we will talk about it. Bottom line is if it concerns the sweet science, we will talk about it. If you want to find out all information regarding Pound for Pound Boxing Report, one main place you want to go to, that's the blog page, p4pboxingreport.wordpress.com is the link. You check the right of the blog page, you will find links to our pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, G plus Tumblr, as well as links to where to listen to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitch Radio, Player FM, Google Play Music, as well as Mixcloud. Yeah, on Mixcloud as well. So yeah, let's get the show started tonight. Because we were off for a couple of weeks, and quite honestly, because I want to let commence about Ward Kovalev rematch. Been a while since we've been on, but decided now is the time to talk about it. And I see that the chatter has continued to go on and on and on and on and on. Um, I'll go to you, Adrian, since you're the first time on, since you're the first time on the show. It's been 2 weeks since the fight has started. Since the fight took place, excuse me. Ward winning by 8th round stoppage. Quote unquote controversial to many. I don't think so. Uh, your having 2 weeks to kind of digest what went down, as well as all the discussion and hubbub afterwards. Your impressions of the fight, first off, as well as all the chatter that has taken place afterwards.
Well, most of the chatter was about whether or not Andre was hitting below the belt, and just before the stoppage. I didn't see that. He may have come very close, but I didn't see him hitting below the belt. I saw more of a punch to the midsection, but more upward than downward. And I don't think at all that he was hitting below the belt. In fact, I was very impressed with Andre's performance. He moved a lot more than he did in the first fight, which was really good, and I was hoping he would do that. He had a lot more head movement, foot movement. He did go to the body earlier this time than he did the last fight. I think that's what paid off in the later rounds. Kovalev pretty much, I don't want to say he gave up. I'd like to say that Andre broke him down. And he broke him down on the ropes, because if you pay attention, Kovalev was actually on the ropes. He was actually sitting on the ropes. And if he had stood up, he should have taken a knee if he wanted to continue to fight. But if he stood up, he still would have been, I think, seriously knocked out.
Okay, cool. You say physically broken down. Do you think it was a mental aspect of Kovalev being broken down as well? Because looking back, uh, hindsight being 2020, of course, the signs there from Kovalev kind of falling apart, you could see it in the lead up.
Yeah.
The controversy about um, that fake conversation between him and Ward that he posted on social media, what he was saying before the fight, how he was going to do this, how he was going to do that, and he's not going to listen to anybody. He's going to go to his own plans. You can see the seeds being planted there. So I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
do you think it was a mental part as well?
I think, you made a really good point, because I think that like you said, leading up to that fight, first of all, he walked out on the press conference. And that right there said a lot to me. He didn't, for some reason or another, I think that Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward, not a lot, but they did get to him in a way, mentally. And I think he was so dead set on knocking Andre Ward out that he kind of gave up whatever his game plan was. I thought that Andre executed his plan very well. And I'm glad that he made it to where there was no question about it. But then there was, because there was controversy about him hitting low. I didn't see that. I don't know if anyone else on the panel feels like he hit him low. I don't.
I'll go to you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, I'll go to you, Isha, and then you, Bo and Scorsese. Your impressions of the fight 2 weeks afterwards.
I'll start with the whole low blow thing. In my opinion, I don't want to say they were low, but I don't want to say that they weren't low, because a few of them did look below the belt. But the point I made is that Andre or any boxer in the ring has a job to do one thing: continue fighting unless the referee stops it, correct? So with that being said, if the ref ain't stopping you from fighting, you continue to do what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And that's exactly what Andre Ward did. Now, I don't know if people understand how hard it is to hit someone who's like bent over like Kovalev was on the ropes. Granted, everyone's saying you'll be bent over too if you got punched in the junk, whatever. Whatever the point is that when the person is bent over like that, you're not going to get a 100% clean shot. So with that, if the ref isn't doing his job and you see this and you are a world-class champion, supposedly, why aren't you taking a knee? That's the gripe I had with that. And everyone's talking about, well, Kovalev didn't stick to the game plan, blah, blah, blah. When has Kovalev ever had a game plan? The only plan that he has is his power. And if you bring in someone who negates his power, it's a wrap. You understand what I'm saying? Just like when Brooke fought Porter, he did the same thing to Porter that Ward did with Kovalev. He negated that power. Punch, hold him a little bit. Hey, if you can't figure out how to stop him from doing that, then that's your own fault. You can't be mad at him for that. He's not gonna stand there and just let you punch him with your power. What kind of craziness is that? So as far as him having a plan, that has always been his plan, is to win on his power. When have you seen him be anything but a power puncher? He doesn't cut the ring off great. He does one thing great. He has that straight punch that can lift you off your feet. But if you get out of that, you're solid. And that's exactly what Ward did. And what happened in this fight that shocked everybody was that Ward came in doing doing things that Ward doesn't normally do. He came in and he let his hands go. Ward fought for 12 rounds. He didn't take no rounds off. You understand what I'm saying? He went in there, he punched, he moved around, he went to the body. That boy Kovalev was so broken mentally and physically that it wasn't even a fight, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was like I think he was still shook from the first fight. You understand what I'm saying? Because he hit Ward with a solid shot, put him down, and Ward got up and shook it off. Came into the next one, got hit with another one, and Ward walked through it. You understand what I'm saying? So when you see somebody walking through your only game plan, you spooked. What else do you got? You're not a good inside fighter. We saw that day. What the hell was he doing there?
Yeah.
What was that? How you let Andre Ward outbox you inside? What is that? So with all of that being said and all this controversial stuff, my point is here. Andre Ward had a job to do. He went in there and did it. If those shots was low, it is the referee's job to stop the fight, get a man his 5 minutes or whatever the case may be. Don't try to say that Andre Ward is a dirty fighter, because that's all that was going on after that. Oh, he's a dirty fighter. All he was doing was hitting him below the belt. No, he is not a dirty fighter. He went in there, he beat your man's ass, and that's simple as that. I enjoyed all of the Ward hater tears sprinkled all over my skin the rest of the night, man. It was beautiful. Other than that, I don't got nothing else to say, but congratulations to Ward and to hell with Kovalev.
Well, you know what, guys, one of the things I thought about a few days after that was that people were saying he was hitting him below the belt. My question is, and this is to the guys, if you were being hit below the belt that hard, that many times, wouldn't you wind up on the mat?
Well, not even that. I will go, and I'll go to you on this one, Bo. With you being the boxing in the amateurs, what's the old adage? When folks start supposedly hit you low, what do? You take care of your own business and start hitting folks back low. It was the way that Kovalev reacted to it. To Isha's point, that was like, okay, he got him. He got him in the head here. Mm-hmm. And you can see it. And to look back even further, Kovalev was shook by when he put Ward down, and Ward came back and got in his face and started fighting him back then. From that point on, yeah, he was wanting a rematch from whatnot, but for me, the fact that he stood up to the supposed bully, that's why I was like, if they fight again, Ward would beat him again. So your thoughts on the rematch and everything that's taking place afterwards?
Talking to me?
Yeah, Bo, you.
Oh, okay. There's not really that much to say, man. We talk about this. We can go over it 1,000 times. People going to see what they want to see, and people going to see what they not want to see. But here's my thing, and I say this. You don't, from the moment you lose the first fight, you don't talk all the shit he was talking. You don't come to the press conference with a hat on that says war. You don't point at a guy and tell me for months how you're gonna end his career and put him out of boxing. And then as soon as shit gets thick, you want to look for help. That's not what you do. When you talk like that, that's not what you do. When you get down in street talk like that, you don't look for help when somebody else say, okay, we're gonna take it to the street, we're gonna take it to the street. And you don't do that and look for help. But here's the thing though. After the first fight, they blamed it on the judges. Then when it came time to sign a contract, they tried to say he was scared. Then after this fight, they blamed it on the low blows. The reason why Kovalev lost is because Kovalev is surrounded by a bunch of enablers. They don't ever want to tell him, listen, you got to take accountability for yourself. They don't ever want to tell him, look, you got to take some of this blame yourself. You did not want to listen to John David Jackson. You sat back and told us that John David Jackson is just a mid guy. You told us you have your own game plan that you're going to work on, bringing in all these new people in the camp without none of it being proven that this is going to work for you. Okay? These are things that you did. Why? Because from the moment this fight was signed, Kovalev never once imagined in his life that Andre Ward would be able to beat him, that Andre Ward would be able to stand there and fight with him. He didn't think it could happen because it never happened to him. And when it happened to him, that boy had no plan B, C, D, E, or F.
Facts.
And that's what happened, because everybody he's ever hit has gone down and they went into survival mode. But Ward didn't go into survival mode. Mm-hmm. Andre Ward said the most important thing at the post-press conference when he said, he said, Virgil looked after me, but he didn't protect me. When I was little and I was scared to get in there with that Golden Glove glide, Virgil would put me in there with him. If I was scared to get in there with that professional, Virgil would put me in there with him. So Ward was mentally prepared long before Kovalev. He's seen hundreds of Kovalev before he actually got in the ring with a Kovalev. And that's the difference. Andre Ward was already mentally there. Kovalev was never mentally tested. And when it was, we saw what happened. This is a guy that has questioned his own moves. When you start questioning your own stuff, and the road to recovery is admitting where you at fault. Once he admits, listen, man, I'm at fault. I mean, just think of the excuses. First it was the judges, then it was I exhausted myself. Then it was, you know, overtrained. Like he had 100 excuses. He had 3 excuses after the first fight. So, you know, if you want to tell me about low blows that ended the fight, fine. But I'm not gonna act like I didn't see what I was looking at from round 1 up until that point. That, you know, it wasn't low blows from round 1 up until that point when he hit him with that right hand and put his ass, you know what I'm saying, that had him doing a stanky leg. So,
Facts.
you know, bottom line is Ward beat him in a more emphatic impression. He had his legs up underneath him in this fight. And the thing that got Kovalev in trouble, I watched this fight again, and everybody misses this. What Ward did beautifully in this fight was the reason why the right hand that hit him didn't hurt him. I think what's the name pointed that out, was because a moving Kovalev does not hit as hard as a stationary Kovalev. And Kovalev was moving. He kept him moving. And Kovalev did the single most, I'm not going to say dumb, but inexperienced thing was he tried to go lefty. And when you switch righty to lefty, fighters like Ward, fighters like Crawford do it at a safe distance. Kovalev threw 2 right-hand jabs at Ward, then tried to switch back convention, but he did it at close range. And when he did it, Ward launched a straight jab and a right hand. And that's how he called him flush, because he caught him switching while at close range. And that's what it comes down to, that ring intelligence. And we saw that Kovalev, you just don't have it. A smart person, when you get in there with somebody that's smart, tough, and willing to put it all on the line, that's a hard man to beat.
Just to shorten what you said, and I'll go to you on this one, Scorsese, and then you can follow up, Daniel. Open up your mics, fellas. Ward basically exposed Kovalev. That's just to sum it up. That's what he did. And I'll go to you, Scorsese, and you, Daniel. And he also, and the main thing he exposed about Kovalev, not just his mental weakness, but from the physical thing. And I've said this all along, Scorsese. To me, Kovalev is a really good fighter, but his one main weakness, he's weak in the gut.
What's
Ward
the
saw
last
that
part
in
you
the
said?
first fight.
He's a what?
I was saying the main thing that Ward exposed, not just the mental weakness, but the physical thing, is that Kovalev is weak in the gut. He saw it in the first fight. He made sure to put emphasis on it in the second fight. And you saw when he started really going to the body, Kovalev folded like a tent.
Correct. Really eye fight to me. You know, the puncher gets knocked out by the non-puncher, the tickler, he supposedly called him. I lost respect for Kovalev way before this fight, long time ago, for things he's done and getting passes for. Both spoke highly about some of the things I said. He had, like I've said before, Isha said some of the things I said. They took words out of my mouth, basically. Both spoke about how he got all those enablers and all those babies, all those people who baby him as a fan, who let him get away with so many things and kept him out of real fights, in my opinion. Some people say he faced a puncher in Pacaquiao, and we never knew what his chin was. We kind of just got swept into giving him that credit. We got swept into giving him that credit for having a body attack. I maybe should have listened when people were saying, yo, Kovalev ain't no top 3 pound for pound. Guys like I guess some of the smaller guys they liked. The guy from Mexico, I can't think of his name, gave Roman Gonzalez the tough fight.
Estrada.
I heard people saying Estrada way better, and I'm like, man, that's old Kovalev there. And I don't even watch Estrada like that, so I got swept into giving him all his praise and his props. And every time I look back at it, I said I don't want to take that back, but I was like, bro, you only beat a 50-year-old. Bro, you beat a washed-up Pacaquiao. You haven't really fought a puncher. It's hard to call Pacaquiao a puncher at 75 when he's not knocking people out. Boy, bout went 12. Everybody goes 12, and hell, he loses. So it's just like, man, I agree wholeheartedly with him being in soft competition in a way, being enabled in a way, and what Isha said is my whole point. It's made a whole video about it. You the one done the fouling on the ropes when you crying about the low blows, bro. You the one got hit with a clean shot You bend over to defend yourself from the other shots. That's a no-no. That ain't defense. That's a foul. You can't bend like that and stay there. If you bend there and come back up, you'll never hear nothing about it unless a guy starts falling on your neck and it's your fault. But
And
then you will hear something about it if you.
I was gonna say, and you can't turn around and complain afterwards when the fight immediately was waved off. You basically turn your tail between your legs, was turning away from the guy, and you didn't complain then. So don't sit here and go to Max Kellerman about how you still want to fight. Your actions immediately as the fight was waved off told everybody you didn't want anymore.
He can do that. He can do that though, man. He's been taught. That's to the enabling part. He can do that. He can take the microphone and he can say, "I didn't leave the purse bid." He can take the microphone and say, "I didn't quit." He can. You got to accept this. I spoke about this prior to the fight, that whatever he does, he's going to expect you to have his back on, because they gave him way too much bullshit that was lies. And look, he's been exposed twice. What does he do from here? I'm not sure. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy that a good fighter has all these people wanting a baby, and it's like, man, y'all grown men, you're grown women, you're grown, whatever you watch in the sport. Man, let these fighters do the fighting. Quit protecting and all this nonsense. But give props to Andre Ward. I think there was a little more to it, but I won't get into that. I'm sure we'll talk more about the future later for them.
Oh, indeed, we will. We will talk about that. Go ahead, Bo.
I want to say one thing to your point about what you do if somebody's doing something to you. When Kovalev rabbit punched Ward rabbit punched in the back, and the ref said cut it out. And he said, "Hey, he hit me."
Right.
And that's exactly what I remember that.
Yeah.
Yep. Your thoughts, Daniel?
Nothing that has happened in the last 2 weeks has changed what I thought immediately watching that fight and just watching the entire build-up to it, which is mainly that Kovalev did let his anger about the decision in the first fight get to him, where he stopped listening to John David Jackson. Like we mentioned, on fight week, he called him just a mid guy. And then probably the worst mistake that he did, because there's the old adage, the fights aren't won in the ring, they're won in the gym. He went and got a strength conditioning coach who's A, Russian, B, doesn't train boxers. He trains biathletes. Now, yeah, biathlon is a very, very tough sport because it involves shooting the gun, but in the winter it involves skiing, and it may involve swimming and bike rides in the summer. It'll build up your endurance, but biathletes don't get trained to get hit. And that's, I think, one of the major flaws that Kovalev went into. He thought it would just have to last a little bit, but at the end of the day, boxers are trained nowadays to last 36 minutes in a ring knowing you're going to get hit, knowing your body's going to take some trauma. Kovalev didn't go into that angle. I think he wholeheartedly believed, and this is a curse of a puncher, that his power will ultimately save him, that his power will negate any mistake that he makes. And like I said, you had the evidence of the first fight with Ward knocked down, but at the end of the day, you're talking about Andre Ward, a man who has not lost since he was a teenager. So he's seen it all, and he's smart enough to figure it out. He figured out what Kovalev was trying to do in the middle of the second or third round and started just going to that, going to the body, landing left hooks, and then landing straight rights following afterwards. Now, is this the old adage to me of like the bully getting confronted? In a way, yeah, because Kovalev had that aura about him where you don't mess with him unless you want to get rocked. At the same time, though, this entire thing has been a situation where in really, really good fights, fans of other fans can go from one side to another. This is a situation where nobody moved. If you were Kovalev, you were shouting low blows. And yes, there was a call for low blow, I think, in the second or third round. But because of the angle that you're watching it and because of the camera angles around it, you can't tell what are those last 2-3 shots on Andre Ward threw before 20 weeks. Stop the fight were low. You can't tell just because there's angle in his body. But
well, isn't it ironic now that if I'm not mistaken, today I was reading how Kovalev is thinking about or wanting to go with Virgil Hunter.
that's
I don't think that's gonna happen because I just don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I heard the rumor about it. I heard the rumor like he going up to heavyweight. Although a good friend, like I said, a good friend to the program, Ms. Gil Farkenthal, she did speak to Main Events and she did give us the rundown of what me mentioned Bo, you were there. Kathy Duba already pretty much has Kovalev's next opponent lined up. And it's gonna be like heavyweight. The only issue is gonna be who's gonna be his trainer. It's not probably gonna be Virgil Hunter.
I think it's gonna be Virgil Hunter anyway, because that'd be a bitch move on Virgil's part.
Yeah, I don't think Virgil
that'd be some disloyal ass bullshit right there. But I think that's just some trolling shit that's just flying around Twitter, to be honest. But yeah,
that's mainly what it is. But we can pretty much say that his days in David Jackson are done. They're done. Both men have lost respect for each other in a way where you can't rebuild that.
Right.
Short term, especially when the plan is to have Kovalev fight in the fall.
Man, look, I was surprised when John David Jackson continued to train the dude after that T-shirt incident.
Oh yeah.
And money talk bullshit. Wild player.
Nah.
Well,
gotta have certain standards.
I just want to disagree on one thing. I don't think it's a messed up move on Virgil Hunter's part. I think it's a whole move on Kovalev's part. You don't go to the camp that kicked your ass.
Right. That's just like the whole Kevin Durant thing. It's the same difference. But I'm thinking with the history between Virgil and Andre and how much animosity there is between the two of them. As I don't know. I just don't see Virgil being that type of a person.
Right.
To do that, is what I was saying.
Virgil made the offer though. Virgil made the offer to train him. He said I'll train him if you're talking about moving up. I'll train him if you go to cruise.
I think that was just slapping him in the face. I don't think he was serious.
No,
but given the way that Kovalev portrayed Ward, in that fake conversation, I don't know for him to do that to his guy.
Right. That's exactly how I feel about it too. I think it'll be a slap in the face to Andre.
I don't even think about it in that way. It's in a way where it's Kovalev admitting that he was wrong. And he's shown to this point that he's a stubborn bastard. He's not going to admit that he was wrong. And going to Virgil Hunter is admitting that he was wrong.
Yeah, but that may be true. But I just don't see, after what he's done and what he said, and not only the main thing is I don't see Kovalev actually listening to any trainer. Doesn't matter who trains him. He's not going to listen.
Even if he did listen to a trainer, I don't think Virgil would be the right fit for him, even if Andre Ward wasn't in the picture in that whole situation. Outside of Andre Ward, who is his next biggest success?
That's the whole thing also with Virgil. That's true. Like Andre Ward is the crown jewel.
That's like his sole claim to fame, in my opinion, is that. So if he's going to go with a different trainer, why not the Richardson guy? I can't think of his first name. I think it's Nassim or something like that.
Brother Nassim. Brother Nassim's not going to take a lot of his crap.
No, he's not.
Joe Diaz won't take none of that crap. Robert Garcia might, but then he'll discipline him in a way that Mexicans could discipline, and I don't think Russians are ready for that.
Yeah.
Well, wrong, because Garcia has worked with Russian fighters before. Not that Russians will not go with it. Kovalev won't.
It's just Kovalev's just his own problem. That's all that is.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, that was my point. I think that he's going to be a problem for whomever winds up training him.
The only person that you have to be trained is if he goes back and goes to a Russian trainer, because it's gotten to the point where I think he thinks that the Russians are the only people that are gonna actually tell him what he needs to hear.
Let's talk the reaction from the fans, the reaction from social media. Scorsese talked about the enablers of Kovalev, particularly on his camp, who works with him directly. For me, I think the excuse making to defend Kovalev is part of the group of enablers, in the way that they're going out of their way to excuse Kovalev in the way he performed, and the way in which are refusing to give Andre Ward full credit for what he did in the first fight. I'm going to open it up to anybody here who wants to respond. Am I being wrong here? Am I being a little bit insensitive here?
He called a man, black man, a monkey. Excuses. He missed out on his biggest payday. Excuses. Can anybody else?
You can't.
He put something on social media to where he was the N-word and memes, right? Excuses. Well, what else more did we expect? What else we should, as boxing fans, let's get used to it. This dude his bed is excuses, his toilet is excuses, his water run and it spill excuses in the tub, man. It's been this way with this dude. And it's a shame because he's actually a good fighter. Just because you can't beat Andre Ward, don't mean you can't whoop Barrera. Don't mean you can't whoop Joe Smith. Don't mean you can't hit Isaac and break his chin. But just, you know what I'm saying? Kovalev himself finally admitted it. But it's like, no, Kovalev, you got to be used to our excuse. He said it. Andre Ward was just better. Something like that I read where he just said, he was just better. He beat me, blah, blah, blah. The guy from North Carolina, damn, I can't think of his name right now, in Kovalev's corner. Don Turner, right? He does an interview. We lost. He looked stupid up there making them excuses. He dumb. That's what Don Turner's saying in your corner. But the fans are like, no, Kovalev, you so used to us giving you this love and you taking it and you calling people chickens and you calling people son of God and blah, blah, blah. That they just like, I can't believe he won't take it now. They got to eat that L. That's what got to happen.
Well,
you also got to understand, though, the people that are going with them excuses, they're not Kovalev fans. They're Andre Ward haters. Kovalev didn't pick up all these people until after the first fight with Andre Ward, because people don't like him. So a lot of people that's giving him the excuses, they're giving it to him because they don't want to give Andre Ward credit they never did, don't want to. So it ain't got nothing to being their fans, because I can tell you right now, if I've asked some of these so-called Kovalev fans, and I have asked them, tell me Kovalev's biggest fight that made him a star.
Facts. And you heard crickets.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's like as a matter of fact, I say that I challenge anybody. If you really want to get down to it and be truthful, when I talk about enabling, Donnell Boone kicked his ass in the first fight. You know you can't find that fight nowhere on fucking YouTube, but you can find the second fight, but you can't find that first one. See?
No, you're right, because I've only ever seen that second one that you're talking about. That's why when you said Boone dropped him, I was like, what? I didn't see that.
You can't find that sparring session either with Triple G, nor that interview with Abel Sanchez basically said that can't sparring session because Triple G was hurting that body.
Now
that interview's been deleted now.
You know what else you can't find? That big payday that would have been in his bank account if he would have took that purse bid. Now he done lost his title for $2 million and got beat for just $1 million the other day. Dumbass Kathy Duva, and I'm happy about it.
Mention Kathy Duva. I think Kathy Duva is an enabler for Kovalev. After that post. That conference after the fight, oh my God, she just clowned. She clowned. And she was making excuses, and she was making excuses for him too, which she has all the time. So
and Adrian, it's not just the way she acted. I thought maybe folks were being too hard on her, but I watched it a second time. I was like, nah, a lot of this is what
I
she was
couldn't
saying.
believe
Was
it.
how she,
Look, the way she did Kovalev with that contract, it wouldn't
that's
matter
my
who
point.
Kovalev fought.
Right. It's
She did him
not
the
just the way
same way.
she acted afterwards. Not just the way she acted afterwards, but the percentage of the gate, and that's it.
Percentage of the gate and the pay-per-views, which were both, by the way, Bat Left Hook from SBNation.com released those figures. I think 125,000 people bought the pay-per-view. Almost 40,000 less than the first fight.
Oh wow.
Amazingly enough, though, the replay got 750,000 views.
No, 900, almost a million. It was almost a million, 937.
No, on the peak it was.
Okay.
Average, right. It was 750,000. So this, first of all, let's speak on the fact of the matter that this should have been a lot bigger than what it was. They should have been like second to Joshua Klitschko as the fight people really want to anticipate early on in 2017. Because we know September 16th is coming.
But no one likes Ward. No one's a big fan of Kovalev. So it's not going to be that type of a fight.
No, but this is the
Do
thing.
you think some of that coverage was drowned out by the announcement of Mayweather McGregor?
No, I don't think that had nothing to do with that.
No, that had nothing to do with it. It's rock and this. I'm sorry, Isha.
Go for it. I'm sorry.
No, what I was about to say is when I heard Sergey Kovalev's purse was tied to both the gate and the pay-per-view buy, suddenly Rock Nation's abysmal promotion of this fight made sense. Because you literally almost heard nothing in the weeks leading up to the fight. HBO did more to hype up the fight than anything else. And even then, both these idiots messed it up. And we have to call them idiots because they acted like idiots. Yes, Ward missed the face-off. And apparently it's retaliation because Kovalev the day before missed the fan meet and greet. It's just a situation where nobody comes out better.
Are you
the second one.
Okay.
The second one, yeah. This one. It was just run so abysmally. And almost everybody, Kovalev, John David Jackson, Angus Clemus, Kathy Duva, in a way Andre Ward, in a way Virgil Hunter, in a way James Price, all somehow came off worse just because of their association with this fight.
Got a question here. The combination of Ward haters, fans, standboys, enabler, to use Bo and Scorsese's words, do you think it has something more than to do than just quote unquote the boxing? The folks who are hating on Ward and the folks who are going out of their way and blindly supporting Kovalev, what you see in the ring.
Yeah.
The people who hate Ward are typically the same type of people that hate Floyd Mayweather because of his cocky arrogance to himself. He hasn't lost. He's a diva. And he's not a personality, so to speak. So
say he's a diva.
Who is that? Who are you talking about? Isha?
Ward.
I don't think he's cocky at all. I think he's confident.
We don't think he's cocky.
Right.
We don't think he's arrogant.
Right.
Just like I don't think Floyd Mayweather is cocky or arront. That man is just.
No.
Yeah, there we disagree.
I still like Floyd. I like watching him box, but he's cocky and arrogant.
Right, but my point is that the same type of people who hate Floyd Mayweather is the same type of people who hate Andre Ward, and that's the type of hate that he's going to receive because of those things.
And what type of people are those? I'm curious to hear your answer.
All right, so here I'm gonna tell you, just like I told Mike in a private chat. The only reason Ward isn't getting his just due for whooping the shit out of Kovalev is because he's an arrogant black man. Everybody hates on him for that particular reason.
Isha, I have to disagree with you on one thing there, and that I don't think that Andre Ward is arrogant. I think what you're talking about, the people who hate him, see him as being arrogant.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying
I see him as being extremely confident in himself.
Right. People who like Ward or who aren't just like I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but I'm not saying that
there are people who think he is arrogant.
Exactly. I'm not saying that he is arrogant per se. I'm just saying people. This is what I get off of the arguments that I have on Twitter is because he's arrogant, he's cocky, he's a cheat. You know what I'm saying? And he's none of that.
I know what you're saying, and that's what they do believe, but that has nothing to do with it.
He is arrogant. Wait a minute. Andre Ward is arrogant. He's a fucking fighter. He's supposed to be arrogant.
No. I see it just like she said. I see it as confidence.
No, she means.
Let me finish.
Let him make his point.
I don't have a problem with him being arrogant because he's a fighter. Fighters are going to be arrogant because they need that edge when they get in that ring. You can't kick my ass. So you need that when you get in that ring.
Right.
If you be a successful fighter, you gotta have it. I don't have a problem with him being that arrogant. Yeah, he's arrogant. I don't care about that. My problem is this. You want to know why they don't like Andre Ward? Because he is a black man that's gonna do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. That's why they didn't like Floyd, because the whole time Floyd was around, all I ever heard about Floyd was we would like a fighter that wasn't like Floyd in the streets, running, gambling, and all that. Okay, Ward ain't shit like Floyd, and you still don't like him. Why? Because you can't control that man. And he's a strong black man and tell you to fuck off if you don't like something. That's why they don't like Andre Ward. Let's just keep it real.
That's part of it.
That's why I want to make the distinction here between Ward and Floyd specifically, because Ward in many ways is not like Floyd. He's not as narcissistic as Floyd. He's not as self-serving as Floyd.
Right.
But you see the visceral reaction to him and the comments about him are the same as if Ward and Mayweather are the same kind of person, and they're not. That's why I asked the question to begin with. Is something going on here when folks go off on Ward and have these comments on Ward? To me, it has more to do with boxing. Scorsese, get in on this. Unmute your mic, Scorsese.
Yeah, I was talking to the mic. Hell, everybody hit the nail on the head, man. It's you got them factions out there that don't care about the race. I'm sort of that way. I'm not studying no race, but I cannot look into it and say it's not other people out there doing it. It's definitely a problem. I was thinking about something earlier, like why he ain't as big as he should be. And I said, well, first of all, the first part of it ain't his fault, but some of it is his fault in the back end. But it always, for like these black athletes, is always never their fault first. And then you find something to say, well, we put him through something so hard or something that he wanted out of so bad that he messed around and he had some faults after that. So he come off a gold medal win and listen, you don't have a fan base. How you represent your country, you gotta have something there. So that's not that. This part right here, you're saying y'all lacking. The people are lacking, and he's done his part, and you don't want to get behind him. And then they start pointing and say, look at him in court. Don't want to fight, this and that. It's like, but y'all took everything that he got and gone, you take it away from him, and then say, look at what you do wrong then. So I don't know. The enablers that everybody else got, I'm going to be honest, sometimes the black athletes don't seem to have those people even when they're more successful or when they want it more, whatever the case may be. So I think a lot of people said a lot of true things in this conversation.
And some of these enablers, let's be honest with it, not all, not most, but some, let's just put it out there, are really showing their colors. They really are.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get Daniel in this. Your thoughts, Daniel. You hadn't had any comments, so.
It's part of that. Racism is part of that. When it comes to it, because it's the way people view arrogant. Yeah, there's the Floyd type of arrogant where it's just in your face. where he'll do whatever and he'll do it in front of you and he doesn't care. But, and I pointed this out, I think, in the chat with Bo, he earned that, though. He earned that arrogance. People want to whine about, oh, Floyd only got big after he hit welterweight. Like, no, that man made his bones at 130. He made his bones at lightweight. He had a decent fan base before he went from pretty boy to money.
Yeah.
So he had a base there so he can build it off it. Andre Ward didn't build that. But then again, Andre Ward, to me, does have a little bit of a grating personality. He does. He doesn't seem like a guy that he can get really friendly real quick unless you've known him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's one issue. The other one, and this is one of my personal issues, and you pointed out some of it. To me, Andre Ward doesn't have a contract that he will honor in a way. Something or another, he'll try to fight it off in a way where a lot of, like I said, the inactivity is his fault. Yes, you fought Chad Dawson. You pretty much decimated Chad Dawson. You turned him into a shell of his former self. But then you didn't go for the momentum afterwards because you wanted to get out of the contract. That's you keeping yourself out of the ring. That's not injuries. That's not politics. That's you. You could have just done the fights, and then when the contract expires, just not re-sign with Goosen. You cost yourself time to rebuild a fan base. But that's my personal gripe with Ward. But a lot of it swings both ways. And I know this was a PM DM mic, but I do have to point it out. The fake Paulo Malignaggi tweet that you saw.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Yes, there are fans who despise Andre Ward and despise Floyd Mayweather simply because they're black.
It's not
hold
because
on.
they're black and they
Here's
perceive it in
something,
a certain context.
Yeah.
But see, if I put like I just want to correct you on one thing. Before that situation with Goosen, he actually went out to have surgery on his shoulder, and then it turned into he went for the lawsuit. But it still goes hand in hand. I give you that. But here's my issue though: if I lay down all the things that Andre Ward went through, contract issues, Mikey Garcia went through that. Nobody hates on Mikey Garcia. Lay down, talking about retirement. Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, left the sport, didn't defend the title, nothing, retired, and he's still relevant where the motherfuckers want to see him fight Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So
I think only British people wanted to see him Anthony Joshua.
But what I'm saying is, if I lay this down, Andre Ward wins a gold medal, Gennady Golovkin wins a silver medal. Who are people looking at more? So
I don't think we can compare us to like the British public though, because we see they will buy.
But our own public is supporting that shit though. That's my problem. When you bring up, if boxing is a universal global fucking sport, so it all goes together. You can't get mad because what Ward is doing, and then turn around and look at Tyson Fury and just say, "Oh well, he's a British." No, is he part of boxing? Did he do that bullshit? Yeah, then it counts.
It counts. No. And you see me rag on Fury. Like seriously, how is it that you and every interview you're saying when you're trying to come back to the ring somehow get fatter? But I'll leave that into the sense. But the reason I want to point that out is that unfortunately, those people get saved by the flip side. Like the people that hate Andre Ward and hate Floyd just for being black, they get saved by what I pretty much call the Hotep section of the YTBC. And this is why I said the fake Paulo Malignaggi tweet. There's a meme out there that has Triple G, regular picture of him, hype job. Somebody does the worst MS Paint color change, changes him to a darker skin tone, and it puts in best of all time.
And it's false. It's false. I can't wait till we go into the future of Andre Ward. I'm gonna show you what not attacking a brother look like if we go there.
That's the thing. People go there. That's the bullshit that we have to deal with. They go there, even though it does point out the fact it is on both angles. But we also have to face the fact that unfortunately we and I pointed this out again and again, even though our good old friend EJ Boxing Live doesn't like hearing it, we are not as nationalistic as other countries.
Well, we are, but it's just in
certain things. In certain things,
Yeah.
like in basketball, we're nationalistic, but
Some gotta
overall,
blow up. Some gotta blow up. Somebody, something like that gotta happen for us to get our shit together over here.
Yeah.
That's the way I'll be looking at it.
yes, usually we only wind up getting together when violence happens to us.
It's because we're a big ass fucking soap opera. That's all that is.
Yeah, and Nisha, like you're close by. What's the easiest way to divide a New Yorker?
What's
the easiest way to divide New Yorkers? Just have them rep your borough.
Fam, I'm not from here. I don't know what y'all do up here. I'm from Cali, bro.
He's a Cali girl.
Oh damn! I thought you were.
I live here, but I don't know shit about the East Coast. I don't know what set y'all off up here. Shit, it could be stepping on your Timbs for all I know.
I'm from Miami, and this is just my observation as a Floridian in New York. I found the easiest way to actually get New Yorkers to fight each other is when think about it. Hey, he's from Queens and you're from the Bronx. I thought you Queens from the Bronx, and then they both start talking smack. Oh, the bridge. Oh, South Bronx. I've seen this face to face, and it's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Just how easily we can be divided.
In the 70s and 80s, and even, I'm going to say 70s and 80s, when there were fights, some of this stuff is just silly to me, because first of all, those boxers fought all the time. You could see a fight every week, not every 2 or 3 months or 6 months. I'm talking about a nice fight, a good fight, 2 competitive boxers. The only thing I ever remember where there was race involved in it was when Larry Holmes fought Jerry.
Oh dear Jesus, yeah.
And that was, was the Cooney caps. It was,
It was played on both sides. If we
Irish against the black, blah 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 blah. That's the only time I really heard that was back then. Now you come to today, and some people you can't even hold a conversation with about boxing without them either making no sense whatsoever, bringing up people who are in totally different divisions, don't even fight in the same division
or the same sport.
Yeah, and then they have a favorite boxer who they think that boxer can beat everyone. And it say, come on now, if I don't know who a boxer is fighting that I watch on a regular basis, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look him up.
Exactly.
I'm gonna go on YouTube and I'm gonna watch all his fights to see what kind of boxer is this. I want to know, even if that's not the case. Say, for instance, when Kell Brook and Spence fought. Well, I had seen Kell Brook fight, but it had been a while. So I went back and I watched Kell Brook's fights to see what chance Spence had against him. But, sometimes I don't know what's wrong with these people now. They talk crazy. They don't really get into the sport. Like you said, they're just fans. And again, they don't know what these boxers go through. They don't know how these, a lot of boxers, I'm telling you, and I've talked to a lot of them. There's some rough cats, period. There's not all of them, but a lot of them are rough. And if they weren't in that ring, they'd be in prison.
That's what I said.
Not all of them.
That's what I said.
I'm telling you, it's the truth. I've talked to them, and I'm telling you, those guys are nothing to play with. And those who are good put in hard work, and that's why I respect boxers, because we can't do what they do. A lot of us, we give up. And they do this over and over and over and over again. And you have to appreciate that. You have to.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Kell Brook and Errol Spence is on right now on Show Extreme. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and this is another.
Well,
No.
the thing is, Adrian, you have to keep in mind, we're in the age of social media.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
I heard what you said about Cooney and Holmes, and as I was saying, a lot of that was being played by both camps.
right.
And it was outside reach outside the camps. I mean, let's face it. I'm gonna put it out there. I don't care who gets mad. It's not a coincidence that Reagan called in to Cooney to wish him good luck. Didn't do the same thing to Holmes.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
Exactly.
And well, you pointed this is.
So
And I wanna,
imagine. So I would argue that you saw some of it, that it was prevalent. You just didn't see it because you didn't have a YouTube, you didn't have a Twitter, you didn't have a Facebook. And let's face it, Facebook is great at letting racist trolls
Yeah.
talk
Yeah.
by being anonymous. So I would argue that even back then there was an element always there. You just didn't see it. You just didn't see it. And you didn't see it in a public way the way you see it now.
Well, yeah, sometimes you go to a fight and you would have fights break out. I mean, it depends on who was fighting.
I mean, let's face it. What was they yelling towards Hagler when he was going into the ring against Mentor in 1980?
oh dear.
N-words
Jesus.
all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So I would argue it's always been there.
It's just
Hell.
more visible
Always
now.
been-
Just more.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring this up, Mike, but I just thought of it too. Like I said, you mentioned how prevalent it is. I know you don't like it, but even Eric Morales thought of it down at an angle. There's a tweet by Eric Morales
Oh gosh.
after the fight, where he was saying either Tony Weeks is blind. Wait, we're stopping the fight. Why did they stop the fight? Either referee is blind, because he was one of the guys that was saying low blows, or you said, or is the referee racist?
Oh,
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. That's something that I've seen as a Latino that we have had to deal. We have to deal with when it comes to our own community. When it comes to the Afro Latinos, because unfortunately we ain't perfect, and that's the bullshit that comes out of it. And
I'm just saying, again, back to the point of social media. Would Angel Garcia, would he be enabled the way he is back then? Would he get the attention had he continued to get back then for his ignorance?
Somebody would have punched him in his fucking mouth back then.
yeah.
Right.
Yep.
People today
Sure
soft.
would have.
That they would have punched him dead in his cheeks back then, bro.
Yeah.
So yet you got certain let's just say certain channels here on YouTube want to continue to put the mic in their face, waiting for the next stupid out of pocket thing for him to say. Enabling.
Well, it's
Continuing
because
that
people
theme, as
today
Scorsese said.
believe that, because I've had arguments or have read long threads about stop being so soft, it's part of the sport. Like, how the hell is fucking racism part of the sport? That makes no sense to me.
Oh, supposedly soft. But we can go on that for days on end. Let's get to the future here. I know Scorsese, he's itching over there to talk the future. Future Kovalev, future Ward. Kovalev still has a future in spite of his issues. Ward, of course, he's talked about cruiserweight. He's talked about heavyweight, which I just think is far-fetched. But let's face it, at 175, it's really one main fight for Andre Ward. That's Adonis Stevenson. So I'll just open up for anybody here. Future for Kovalev, future for Andre Ward. Please chime in.
I hate Adonis.
There you go, Scorsese. You went after your favorite fighter. You know what to do.
What's good?
Yeah, Isha.
I hate Kovalev, but I want Isha to understand this. I gotta see him fight. You know what it is. It just is that I hate him, but I gotta see him fight.
I'm with you on that.
And I look at this like this. You have 3 titles if you're Andre Ward, and I'm not gonna buy what Andre Ward said about I came in Kovalev's division. No, you didn't come in Kovalev's division. You came in Adonis's division, and Kovalev didn't want to threaten to take it. He threatened to take his division from him. But when it came down to it, he packed his bags, he hauled ass. And from that day forward, respect was lost. I didn't care what anybody had to tell me. I won't bend on that no more. I don't have to. I don't have to bend on facts. And Andre Ward came to me just like some of these fans did, and he said, "It's Kovalev's division." I'm like, "Who that? Are you one of these fans, or are you Andre Ward?" I'm like, "You can't be one of them outside the ring. Then when you get in the ring, you don't want to be them. You don't want nothing to do with them. They're not going to support you. You got to do this the real way to me." And when he said I came in Kovalev's division right then and there, I knew it's the chance of seeing the Stevenson fight, slim pickings. But I'm going to talk about it because it's 3 belts and there's one more belt that need to be added to the table. One guy didn't get the fight. Andre Ward did his thing. He got the Kovalev fight, knocked him smooth the fuck out, period. Now you got one more title, but you mean to tell me you're going to, the McChicken that McDonald's ate, that Stevenson ate, the McChicken that he ate and littered, you mean to tell me you gonna pick it up and say, "Ooh, chicken"? I mean, "Ooh, Bellew." That's what you gonna do? Nah, we ain't trying to have that, Andre. You trying to get ran out your division, ran out your country with 3 titles? What? When I look in boxing, I say, what is it gonna take to beat Adonis? I start thinking somebody got to be longer than him. They got to be fast. They got to be durable. They got to take a shot. They need to have some respectable power. I start putting all this together, and I say, or maybe it just take an Andre Ward. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, challenge yourself. One of y'all got what? Greatness written all over you. Andre Ward can take a step and say, I don't need him. I already got greatness. But right there, that's telling you right there he's scared to risk his greatness. But if you go fight his damn leftovers, man, a lot of respect lost right there. That to me, bro.
Okay, now let me go. Let me go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm glad we got there. Wait a minute, are you done?
Give it room.
I just feel like, is this the part? Let me ask this question. Let me ask you, is this the part where you come in and offset anything that I didn't say anything wrong? I'm talking about
no. You didn't say nothing wrong, but you didn't tell the whole story. See, there's a whole
everybody step
the
back.
truth
Everybody step
is
back.
100%, not 90, not 95, not 99.9. It's 100.
Give him room. Give him room, folks.
It's 100%. Now, let's get something straight. I will give you the Kovalev and Stevenson because it was fuckery on both sides. Stevenson ran from HBO over to Showtime to avoid Kovalev. Then Kathy Duva cried to the WBC. They did everything she said. She pulled out. That's a wash. But who's went on to do bigger shit since then? Kovalev. Adonis Stevens, it was Kovalev division. Why? Adonis Stevens was stripped in 2015. He was no longer the man. Hold on, wait a minute. I was quiet while you talked, and I let you get it out. Now let me finish. He got stripped in 2015. He gets stripped in 2015. So he's no longer the man. You don't become the man and stay the man. You got to continue to do shit to show me that you're the man. He didn't do that. So Andre Ward did come to his division. Now, as far as Andre Ward challenging himself, bottom line is Stevenson got famous off of Ward's leftovers because Ward beat Dawson, which Stevenson wound up beating him after that. So if you want to talk to me about leftovers, Dawson lost, fought Stevenson. Bellew at least won a fight. But is there a contract for them? No. Is there a situation where they're saying the teams are talking? No. This is Eddie Hearn saying Ward is interested. I'm going off. No. Until I see a reliable source, a reliable link, people telling me they talking and the teams are talking, then we got something to talk about. But throughout the history of boxing, the history of pugilism, have I ever seen guys after a tough fight take a fight like Bellew? I do remember after beating George Foreman, Muhammad Ali fought Chuck Webner. I do remember seeing Mike Tyson fighting a Buster Mathis. Oh, I do remember seeing a Floyd Mayweather fight a Andre Berto. I do remember seeing a Manny Pacaquiao fight a David fucking Diaz. I do remember seeing a fucking Oscar De La Hoya fight a Turo Gotti. Oh yeah, by the way, I also remember seeing a motherfucker named Riddick Bowe fight a Michael Doach. So if we've seen this before in boxing and we're not ready to call everybody to the fucking card before it, when Sugar Ray Leonard after Hearns fight a fucking Bruce Finch, be quiet to me if we're not about to be fair. Bottom line is, this man has challenged himself. He went up to 175. He faced Kovalev twice and Sullivan Beretta. When you're paying your step aside money to fight a lesser opponent that you already whooped, That's being a bitch
What
to me.
does this guy have to do anything with it? What does he have to do with a unification that takes precedent over his mandatory spot? He proved he'll take step aside money. I don't have to talk about him. He's already not wanted to fight before. I don't have to talk about it. Now, my issue with you saying all these other fighters did it, look, Ward is going to put on 25 per pound to go to heavyweight if this is the case. He ain't coming back. The rest of them guys had the potential to. He's not fighting no Joshua. No, he might, maybe a Wilder. I don't know. I'm believing Wilder. I ain't gonna go there. But anyways, he's not fighting the Joshua more than likely. He's not fighting the Klitschko. He's going to fight one guy. And after that, what are you gonna do? Come back and you're gonna make the excuse that you making for Chad Dawson, saying, "Hey, my weight," the Roy Jones Dawson excuse. My weight. Now Stevenson can knock me the hell out. No. Challenge yourself right now. The rest of those guys may have went a division. They may have stayed in a division. This dude is taking the hugest jump in boxing. Light heavyweight to cruiserweight, possibly heavyweight.
He ain't taking a step yet.
This is
You're
what
talking about a rumor, though, Scorsese. You're being emotional talking about a fucking rumor that you
I'm
heard.
jumping to conclusion. Okay, but this
Show
is
me a
what he's
contract.
calling
Show
for.
me a contract.
Time out.
Show me a contract, though, Scorsese, though. Show me how they. Have you seen an article where it says Rock Nation is no? You talking about what Eddie Hearn said?
I'm admitting to you. I'm jumping to conclusion on it. You don't have to say that. I'm jumping to conclusion on it because he said it in the ring. I have the right to do that because he opened it.
Saying. So if you're gonna jump to conclusion,
you're defensive about this happening because you know he shouldn't even say these things in the ring.
Adonis Stevens had a fight with Darnell Boone. The first fight, Boone fucked him up. Then what did Adonis do? He changed the weight to 175 because that bitch couldn't take an ass whooping. That's what the fuck happened, dog.
What does this have to do?
100 here.
Why is this even the truth?
100 here. You defending the motherfucker that do the same shit that you want to accuse another dude of doing? Fuck out of here, man.
Hold on. Say your point again.
Wait a minute.
Let him say his point one more time. I didn't hear what he said. Adonis. I don't know how Boone ties into this.
Because Boone did beat the crap out of Adonis.
Because my point is, you're accusing a guy of making certain moves that the very dude you defend do this same bullshit. But you act like you don't see it because you don't want to see it.
No, he's not. He's been calling out Andre Ward since 168. Why are you so defensive?
You call that a dude that's at 168 when your ass is at 175? Are you fucking kidding me? You call that a dude
Why are you so defensive about making a unification?
So you don't fight Kovalev, you don't fight Stevenson, you don't fight Better Beef. You pay your mandatory step aside money to fight a lesser opponent, and that shit's okay. Like that's the shit that's okay.
Why are you so defensive about? First of all, Better Beef has not even been asking for a fight. Better Beef's been injured, hadn't been in the ring. I don't know.
You and Better Beef.
Everybody, the mandatory takes step aside.
Better Beef is in your division. Better Beef and you got the same promoter. How come you can't make that fight? How come you can't make that fight? Because you're making all these excuses for Stevenson.
Better Beef already turned down a title fight. Better Beef already turned down a title fight.
Andre Ward come to your division and do more in 1 year than your ass have done the last 3. You ain't had a mandatory since 2014.
Well, fight him and beat him. That's all you got to do. Fight him and beat him. That's all I'm asking.
He made himself irrelevant by doing nothing. Now, I do want to see Andre Ward fight him to unify. No, I do want to see Andre Ward talking over each other. But I'm not finna sit and act like that Ward is fucked up. We're talking over each other. We're not going to know the bullshit that Stevenson been doing just because you don't like
Ward. He wins, bro.
Hold up, everybody. We're talking over each other. One at a time, please. One at a time.
The defensiveness of a unification fight. Bo just made a better defense streak than Tito Trinidad did. Then James Toney did at 160 and 168 pound time. I didn't never seen somebody be so defensive over a unification fight. That's all they got.
I said I do want to see them. I don't have a problem with them doing it. Listen, I do want to see Andre Ward become undisputed. I've said that 1,000 times over on every channel. I do want to see it, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like Ward is fucked up when I'm looking at Adonis Stevens, who's done even worse of fucked up shit, and make it look like Ward is a problem because of a rumor. That's totally flat out fucking wrong.
That's right.
Now, I got a quick question.
Let's get everybody else in the discussion.
Right. I just got a quick question.
Get everybody
again. 1 second. Quick question for Mr. Low Place. Can you explain to me, since Adonis is your dude, and since he's become whatever title holder that he is, what has he done? What have he done since becoming?
I want to set the record straight. First, nobody's my dude. I'm going to be honest with you. I defend the truth. I look at the truth. Adonis has been dug by B-Hop. B-Hop could have made more money fighting Adonis than he did fighting Sergey Kovalev.
Okay, I hear all that.
Look,
That's not my question. I just want you to answer this
can't make
particular
people
question for me.
We can't do that. Look at Guillermo Rigondeaux. When people run away from you, you won't do shit. That's how it's set up. They look at a puncher and they look at a guy can box and can punch and they say, fuck that, I want a better route. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I know B-Hop was offered more money to fight Adonis than he was Kovalev. He bailed. I know guys when Pacaquiao says come back to boxing and give him all the money, give him 50, 60%, and to fight him, he can't negotiate like a challenger. Therefore, you can't get a fight. If this man is the fighter of the year, putting 10,000 people in the seats, you got to respect him as a champ or you scared of him, in my opinion. That's the truth.
You're telling me that there was no one other than Fun Forward 2?
No, come on. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying this. When you have 6 or 7 dudes that have went out their way to not fight you, Joe Smith being the last, in my opinion, when you've had that, I'm not going to point to 2 dudes you could have picked. I'm not going to point to 2 dudes you should have picked.
But we can't. If there's 6 people aren't going to fight him, okay, let's say, those 6 people ducked him. Let's just say, for saving grace, let's just say those 6 people ducked him. Yeah. But you going to tell me that there's not another person than a Fun Forward 2 that he could have did better?
This is the same thing. No, he got the best in the division he was negotiating with. Now, this is the same thing they said about Rigo. You can't get the best, so why you ain't fighting number 12? And it's just like when he do pick number 12, you call him a cherry picker. It's nobody has time for this. All I want to do, put him in the ring. If he lose, I'm gonna come on here and tell you why he lost. But they won't even get a man a chance to.
Scorsese. See, you're not looking.
Why are you pushing for him to fight Ward? Why not let him fight Kovalev then?
It's undisputed. I was pushing for Kovalev, but Kovalev went and lost luster like a jackass.
Okay, even without a belt, Fun Forward doesn't have a belt.
Kovalev is a joke. I won't push for him to do anything but sit his ass the fuck down because he went and joked himself out. He had his shot and he blew it. He could have got his biggest payday. I don't have to push for him to do anything. Ward and Stevenson will make more money than Ward Kovalev. That's the facts. It's got 2 countries. It got 2. You said that's not true?
I said that's true. I said that's true.
Canada, you got the U.S. They make more money. Make the fight. It's a beautiful fight. And we talking about Alvarez. We talking about, look, Alvarez will take money. I'm not a Stevenson diehard fan. I'm a dude that's telling the truth and it's showing every time the dude negotiates with people. And I got a source to tell me Joe Smith was forced into taking this Alvarez fight. He couldn't get any other date. Nobody wanted a Monahan fight. He was banking on Monahan, so he over-negotiated with Stevenson. He got forced to take Alvarez. Once again, guys will not go like challengers to fight this man because I hate to say this word, but I'm going to say it. Pussies. That's it.
Now I'm gonna say one last thing. I'm gonna say one last thing. I gotta say this, and I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Last thing, Bo, before I go to
I ain't gonna say nothing else because when you don't want to tell the whole truth, then this is why you get this kind of bullshit. Bottom line was, you don't pay a guy step aside money, okay? And then fight a dude that you already beat. That's pussy shit. Number 2, all right? You don't thump your chest, sit back, and do fucking nothing and tell me how this dude don't want to fight you. Nobody's scared of you, dog, but you got to put yourself in a position to want motherfuckers to come get you.
Don't say that, though.
Hold on, wait a minute, dog. And when motherfuckers don't do that, that's what it is. But the bottom line is, Adonis Stevens has done nothing at all, period.
Nothing. He got
2 guys has come into your division and have done more than one guy came in your division and did more than you.
And what has Rigo done? What has Rigo done? What has Guillermo Rigo done?
Wait a minute. Rigo has done anything. Have you heard Rigo? Rigo has done nothing either.
What has Guillermo Rigondeaux done? What has
Rigo hasn't done nothing so great either. And I've said this. I've said Rigo, you should not be on the top 10 powerful power list.
You have to understand. I've said that 1,000 times. Acting like hoes, man. Fear will make you act like a hoe.
Your boy acts like a hoe every time it comes to. He shouldn't have been looking at fucking Joe Smith. You should have fought Alvarez, and when nobody said nothing, we would have respected you fighting Alvarez better than you fighting that punk ass one fighter that you already beat. You know what? You talk about some talking facts.
You hate yourself. You saying
Adonis Stevens does not want to do
you're irrational.
He wants to sit back and just collect a fucking check fighting nobody.
All right. One thing, Mike. You can't look at a top 5
Oh, yeah.
opponent, Joe Smith, and then you can't look at the number 12 opponent. So, Bo, I don't know who you want him to fight. Basically, you're telling him to retire.
He shouldn't have fought a dude he already beat. You already beat him. You should have fought him. You already beat him. You should not have fought him. You should not have fought him. You should have paid your mandatory step aside money to fight a dude you already beat. That's bitch. That's bitch.
Okay.
Adrian, and then Daniel, please.
I gotta agree with a lot that Bo is saying about what's his name, Adonis Stevens. I mean, that fight with Fanfare was a joke. It was a joke, and he has had an opportunity to fight other fighters, but for some reason, you know, when the cameras are in front of him, he does a lot of talking, but I see no action. I really don't, at least not with someone who is on the same level as he is. And I'm like,
And it didn't help Stevenson's case when a couple of years ago, when the fight with Kovalev was really hot, he was being asked about it. Don't y'all want to see me fight Carl Froch? Even the Canadian fans were like, huh?
Right. I mean, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed by Stevenson. I never have been. I mean, he's got a good, what is it, right?
Left.
He has a good left. Other than that, I'm not impressed with him. Not at all. And again, like I said, I mean, when I heard that he was fighting Fanfare, you know what? I didn't even watch that fight. I know he won, but sit down and watch it for what? You already knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah. I will disagree and say that I think Stevenson is a good fighter. I think based on style, he would give Ward a hell of a fight. And they should fight. However, the thing I will say, and I'll go to you on this one, Daniel, and this is where I have to push back with Scorsese. I can understand some of what you're saying, but some of this falls on Stevenson as well. He is one of those guys who's a lightning rod in the sport. Some of it is not his fault, but some of it is. What he says, what he does, how he can be contradictory.
Yeah.
That can fall on him. And I will just go with Daniel's final point here before we move on.
Okay.
Because it got heated up in here.
You know, because it got several, and luckily Scorsese wanted the mic. Okay, number one. I've said it a billion times. The whole Stevenson Kovalev situation is a situation where nobody is innocent. Everybody along the way fucked up in their own way. I just acknowledged who started it, and that was Stevenson. When he went to fight the Kovalev, he ran to Al Heyman to make sure that fight never happened. That's number one. Number two, if you're gonna go the Joe Smith route, and I have to say this because I do live here, unfortunately, that is on Star Boxing because of the insurance bond. That's the only way Star Boxing was actually gonna get a lot of their fighters back in that card to make that money going into it, and they did go overboard. Joe Smith should have went to Canada to get that fight because let's face it, in all honesty, Yvon Michel doesn't do business in the U.S. For whatever reason, other than money, he just doesn't do business in the U.S. as a promoter. So if you know you're going to fight a Yvon Michel fighter, you know you're going to Canada. That's two. And when it comes to number three, yes, I want more to be undisputed. I would love to see that. But the realist in me sees on one side Al Heyman, on the other side James Prince, who have a beef in the music business that goes back longer than they've been in boxing. And knowing who James Prince is, that ain't happening.
Yeah, he's not. He's a dude you don't mess with.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Oh, and on top of that, that's just his manager. Ward's promoter is Jay-Z, a man who Al Heyman, whose wife Al Heyman tried to rob blind along with her father. Do we forget that Al Heyman was involved with Beyonce's father to rob her blind? And you think they're going to settle that for a fight? That's something that's not going to happen. in a realist sense. In
What?
in a theoretical sense, I would love it.
They need to get over that, though, Daniel. They need to get over that, for real, for real. They need to get over it.
And my only other pushback is, Daniel, Rock Nation is in the red to the point they probably won't even promote Ward Awards anymore. So moving forward, I'm just saying it right now, look for Ward to sign a deal with Bob Arum.
Oh no, that I could see, but that still leaves James Prince, unfortunately. So that's one whole aspect of it.
And I'm just saying Prince will work with Bob Arum more than he would with Rock Nation. That's why I say that.
Oh no, he'll work with Bob Arum, but he won't work without Heyman. That's the whole point. If you want to fight Don Stevenson, you have to work without Heyman.
So
but they got to get over that, though. They got to get over that. They got to get over that because you got to have undisputed. But they got.
I would love to. Yes, that's right. I would love to, but that's the bad thing about it. It's become so much of a business that things that make sense don't happen anymore, or they happen very, very rarely. We're gonna get a rare one in Crawford and Dongo coming up soon, but the whole thing about it is it's just become such a business. And like I said, I don't know. In reality, like I said, from a real step, I don't blame Stevenson for trying to get money. I don't. It's just that his actions that follow it in order to do it have allowed people to go into what was once your division and have it no longer be in many ways your division anymore. Because now there's Viedeves still out there. Now you have Joe Smith. Now you have Vostik. Now you have Vivo out there. And you have Ward. So there's a lot more people there not there to fight. Like I said, theoretically, I would love that fight. I would love to see Adonis Stevenson versus Andre Ward. It would be a good clash of styles because, let's face it, Adonis Stevenson does have really good footwork. He has really good range, and he does have that left hand. But Andre Ward has proven time and time again, since he was a teenager, that he can take away your biggest strength and eventually make you fight his fight. That's one reason I want to see it. I just unfortunately really listen the angle. And the only defense into the Andrew Fonfara fight, at least to me, it would have been better than Shawnee fucking Monahan.
That's
that
true.
would have, yeah. Because dear Jesus, I'm like, when I heard Stevenson versus Shawnee Monahan, I'm like, what the fuck? I like Fonfara, I went like, okay, it's better than that, but that's just basically that's what going over raw cow manure to processed cow manure.
No, you went from Joe Smith to Shawnee Monahan. Actually, Joe Smith was the target. Fighting 3 times a year was the plan, and 3 times in 1 year as a 38-year-old was the plan. And one thing to clear up, and I do this, and I know people won't consider this fact when it's out there in the articles. It's out there. One promoter comes out and exposes HBO. They say we ran from HBO, but the thing is, we negotiate with HBO until the last day. Adonis has put his price on the table. They put their price, and Adonis said I was $300,000 away from what we agreed to. I wanted $300,000. They had $300,000 under me. So Al Heyman, Yvonne Michelle put up $200,000 and tell HBO to pay the other $100,000. They got him locked down for 3 fights for a unification fight with Sergey Kovalev. Fighter of the year, great ratings. There is nothing about. I'm not going to listen. I agree with Steven. I won't listen to what you're finna say, Daniel. HBO won't do business with HBO can suck my left testicle if I'm paying $20 to watch their fights every month, and you tell me you can't do business with a man that got fighters. You can't do business to put on a unification because of some man that don't even do media. They can suck the testicle off me with that shit. They got a good fair deal. They didn't take it. Adonis went to Showtime. Ain't no running involved. He ain't never done Kovalev.
No, when you purposely go to a guy that you know your other side of the business does not begin with, that's you running like a fucking
Daniel, answer this one question. Answer one question. I ask you this all the time, and you just repeat yourself. Why did they keep Dillian when Al Heyman was already on board then? Why?
They were dealing with
Shut him
Michelle.
down. Shut him down.
No.
Somebody mute him.
Are you gonna let me finish? Are you gonna let me finish?
You're gonna make an excuse, and you should
No,
say.
and I'm not making an excuse. They were dealing. So they were dealing. They were trying to negotiate, but at the end of the day, Al Heyman did what Al Heyman was there to get to do, which is get Adonis team.
What, pay the deal that he wanted?
Like Kovalev.
Okay, all right. Wow.
That was the whole point.
Okay, so I just gave you the facts that he was going to pay the deal that Adonis wanted to keep him on HBO, and you just okay.
And I'm gonna tell you.
It's okay. Let's go to the next subject.
And Al Heyman's word over that. Yes.
Okay.
See how that's hate in your heart. That's hate in your heart, man. You can't even go.
No. Because it's not hate. It's just the proven fact they didn't deal with Al Heyman, and you went to the one guy they don't deal with.
Remember, they said he won't be a champion.
Let's move on because we done squeezed all the juice and the pulp out that orange. Move on to some other fights and some news here. Undercard of Ward Kovalev 2. Guillermo Rigondeaux fought Moises Fuentes. Fight ended in the second round. Strange ending. I believe it was ruled at first a stoppage for Rigondeaux. Ultimately, I think it got changed to a no contest. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody.
Oh, you're right.
Yes. Yep.
Just not just the fight itself. Yeah, but in the aftermath, there's been talk of a possible Rigo Lomachenko bout proposed for later on this summer. And quickly, I emphasize that. And this is for anybody who wants to respond.
I'll believe it when they announce the date and they hold the press conference. I'll believe that. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see Rigo fight Lomachenko. I think that would be a hell of a match. But as far as that actually happening, nowadays I just wait at least until it's announced officially.
I'll go to you, Bo, because I think you had a commentary about this on your channel. Just express here what you were saying a couple of days ago.
No, it's just that my thing is I just don't think this fight's going to happen because Rigo's going to go from 122 straight to 130. Then you're going to have to pay him for taking that risk, and I just don't believe Bob Arum is willing to do that.
Right.
I just don't believe he's willing to do that. Now, does the fight need to happen? Yeah, but in my wholehearted, honest opinion, I don't think Rigo should sit around waiting for it either. He should start making moves like the no contest should have been called in the first place because the punch definitely happened after the bell, both of them punching. But I don't think he should sit around waiting to see. He should start making moves. If you're going to move up. If you're going to fight Magdaleno, fight Magdaleno. But don't sit around hoping that this is going to happen because I don't believe that Bob Arum is willing to pay him to come up 2 weight divisions to take that risk.
Right. Nope.
Anybody else quickly?
No, Bob Arum's not going to pay the guy that ruined Donito in there for him. He's not. Okay, and second of all, like I said, if Rigo's going to make moves, he may have to wait till August to what happens with Yama Nakaniri. Because he does like to fight in Japan. Yeah. And let's face it, he's a small junior featherweight. He could easily probably still make bantamweight. So if Yamanaka stays at 118 or moves up to 122, depending on how badly Neri beats him, then that's the fight to make. He could go to Japan. Rock Nation doesn't have to do a damn thing because Mr. Honda will take care of everything. All the Japanese promoters take care of everything, and that would probably be the best move to make because
it would be the best move to make because there is a huge fan base in Japan.
Yeah, and they love Rigo. Like after what he did to that one guy. Oh dear God! He made that man grow a second head.
Yeah.
He had him look like the Elephant Man. Afterwards. So yeah.
But I have to say this. I have to say that I fell out laughing when he said that he would give them the belts, beat them, and take the belts back because nobody wanted to fight him. He said, I'll give you the belt. And then
what happened? What happened to Rigo? What's happening to Rigo at 22? That's ducking, obvious ducking.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like with Quake, Frampton. Oh, this is how bad the WBA. Remember the WBA took the belt away from Rigo, gave it to Quake, and then when Quick fought and then Frampton moved up to featherweight, they just had no choice but to give Rigo the belt back.
Yeah, Quick,
Look,
Frampton, Santa
I
Cruz,
see it.
all left the division and making money now, and he's still toiling at 122 looking for a fight. Wow.
To me, this
seems sort of similar to what I mentioned, but not division leaving. But at the end of the day, Rigo, I'm gonna say this about him: he's 36 at them lower divisions, sitting around inactive. Man, you better be careful because you depend a lot on your reflexes, not on your technique, not on your chin. Look, be careful because some of them punches from that big tall man was coming this close, and you know your chin. I mean, you got up, but you know your damn chin ain't the great. You got up when you got knocked down in the fight with the Amagasa guy, right? But you know your chin ain't still. You need to get your ass in that ring and get it on while you can. All this Twitter typing, all that. I don't care who you fighting. You ought to be making your money as quick as you can. If not, somebody gonna knock Rigo ass out.
Well, and now he's getting older too. He's getting older.
No, like, okay, we have to ask the Cuban in the audience. How old is Rigo really, Bo?
40.
I'll mute your mic, Bo. Bo may be away, but
yeah, that one will go away. But the whole thing about it is, let's face the fact. First of all, this mainly got started on going back to word Kovalev too. This got started because somebody asked Edges Klimas there about a fight between Rigondeaux and Lomachenko. He got mad, and then he put out something on Twitter like, "Oh, we won't fight Rigondeaux unless you go up to 130." And Rigondeaux, he pulled the card. He said, "Fine, I'll do it." And now they're talking, "Oh, you're not popular. Oh, you're not this."
Well, you know who started that, Daniel. You know who started that.
Yeah.
Who?
Klimas. Klimas is
no, Bob Arum. Bob Arum started that whole thing about Rigo after he beat Donaire. HBO and Don and Bob Arum did that. You know, that really ticked me off because as far as I'm concerned, he is one of the best fighters to watch. I mean, you talk about boxing, Rigo boxes.
He's good at
it. And for them, because he beat Donaire. Bottom line, he beat him. And Bob Arum was so pissed, and so was HBO, that they put this man like I have never seen in my entire life watching boxing. He's boring. He's boring. That's all they said was he's boring. And I'm saying, how in the world can you talk about this man? Well, I guess he is. He doesn't go in there and knock someone out in the first 2 rounds. But other than that, he's a specimen to behold. And I'm not trying to be funny. You sit there and you watch him, he slips punches like, to me, he's better than Floyd as far as slipping punches. He's good. And most Cuban boxers are. There were times where, and I know a lot of them had the defect, but I would have loved to have seen Teofimo Stevenson fight Ali.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I would have loved to have seen that. But he couldn't do it because he couldn't come here to the States and fight.
Oh, God, that would have been a hell of a fight.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, people don't appreciate him. And to me, when someone comes to me and says, he's boring, I don't even want to talk to you anymore. That tells me you don't watch it. You don't watch boxing.
This is the whole thing, though, Adrian. This is the whole thing, and I think we can all agree on this. Boxing has sold itself in a way like baseball did in the 90s. Like, what was the catchphrase in baseball? Chicks lick the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
The phrase in boxing is people love knockouts. And if you don't do knockouts, you're considered boring. If people can't hit you, they consider you boring.
Or running
in a way where you don't want to come into a fight. There's a difference. What Miguel Vasquez does, that's running.
Yeah.
That's running to the point where people are questioning whether you're an actual Mexican. But what Floyd does, what Rigondeaux does, what the Barthélemy brothers do,
even Lomachenko,
mm-hmm. They use footwork in ways and angles. And I think another reason why Lomachenko is looked at a little bit different, he did go hardball coming in early. Like, that man demanded the world title shot in his first pro fight. And he's slowly getting, you see, he's slowly getting better. Like those 9 years that his dad had him dancing are showing themselves with the way his footwork has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now the whole thing also about it is, and this is something that unfortunately does fall into the one of the side effects of the whole Cuban embargo. Once Cubans, once they come over here, they don't really know how to market themselves.
No, they don't. You're absolutely right about that. They don't know how to market themselves.
Yeah. And unfortunately, and this goes specifically to like people like Mike Perez and Erislandy Lara.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it. Bo's around. Don't say too much bad about Erislandy Lara. Bo's around.
No. But it's a blatant point. This is more like political ideology or anything. If you are not completely in with the old Cuban exile community in Miami, where everything that Fidel did was evil.
Yeah.
Where there you can't point out some of the good that he did, some of the good that Fidel is known for outside of the U.S.
Right.
You won't last in Miami long, and this is from somebody from Miami. Yeah, he won't last it. That's why Mike Perez went to Ireland. That's why Erislandy Lara is in Houston, because they don't know how to deal with that, and unfortunately, that stigmatization that community does to itself doesn't help fight.
Yeah, there's a history there for sure.
Let's move on and talk about getting to the news here. And because we spent so long talking about everything Ward Kovalev, I'm gonna split these topics up. Going to Isha and Scorsese and talk about the issue with Deontay Wilder. It popped off this week. There were supposed negotiations for fights. According to I think Hearn, $5 million was offered to Wilder. Wilder said no. That became that Wilder was ducking the fight, was avoiding the fight. Wilder came with an instigate, basically saying, Hearn, you know the guy I want, meaning Joshua. I want the fight basically on my own terms. A lot of drama back and forth, a lot of talk back and forth between Wilder, Hearn, and Dillian Whyte. I'll go to you, Isha, and then you, Scorsese. Your thoughts on all of this?
I don't know. Deontay Wilder's been fucking weird. Obviously, you're not gonna get AJ. He's about to fight Klitschko again. So you're gonna tell me you're gonna sit on the bench and wait until whenever this fight is over, instead of taking a fight that you will probably win, no problem.
Exactly.
For $3 million, that's easy money right there. Supposedly that's easy money. But you're gonna tell me you're gonna price yourself out of it. You're gonna ask for $7 million to fight a Dillian Whyte. What? Like, I don't even understand the logic behind that. Like, I want to be one of those people who rally behind our American fighters, but when they do shit like this, it makes it really, really, really hard to do.
Isha, you said he was offered $7 million?
No. He was offered like $3 million, and he told him, no, I want $7 million to fight Dillian Whyte.
That's an easy fight.
Asking for $7 million for a Dillian Whyte fight is retarded. You're lucky they're offering you $3 million because Dillian Whyte's not worth that much. But because he's a big draw, Dillian Whyte's a big draw in the UK, and Wilder seemingly has a good draw in here, it's going to make money. So I can understand offering him $3 million, but to ask for $7 million, come on, man.
Yeah.
Why?
Scorsese, your thoughts?
Somebody says an easy fight for Wilder. Shit. Nothing's an easy fight for Deontay Wilder. And I'm just going to keep it 100 right there. Nothing is an easy fight for him. Hopper swole that man eye up for a reason. He's hittable. The technique. They know. The trainers probably told him, hell no, we ain't taking you across the water. Look, they couldn't get out of the Povetkin. The Povetkin was great. Povetkin's a short guy. Dillian Whyte ain't that, man. Dillian Whyte gonna come to fight. He got a bigger highlight in his career than Deontay Wilder do. Like nobody's checking for your win over Romain Stavern. But I tell you
I'm
this,
not impressed with his style. I'm sorry.
When you knock Joshua around the way you did, people gonna always remember when they say that Joshua got a chin, they gonna go back to that, just like they gonna go back to Klitschko. Deontay Wilder would say, what are we gonna look back on him on? Maybe your knockouts. But bruh, the rest of the boxing, just like you're not impressed with Dillian Whyte, I'm not impressed with Deontay Wilder. Right hand, beautiful.
I'm not impressed with Deontay Wilder either. I'm not a big Deontay Wilder fan.
I don't think anyone's impressed with him.
I've watched Whyte, and I'm gonna tell you, I think that Deontay could take Whyte.
Yeah, he could definitely knock him out. He could definitely see if he's, worn any from the wars he's been in. He could definitely knock him out. But when you going over there, you giving a man a shot at the title, he gonna come in the best he could possibly be. And that means you're going to have a fight on your hand. And I'm not sure that Deontay Wilder people or Deontay Wilder himself just looking at that jumping in head first like, I got this. I don't think so. And they obviously aren't because that $3 million, that money talk. Isha said it earlier. Money talk and your wants walk. When you get $3 million, you ain't worried about no Joshua. You'll get your $3 million then Joshua later.
Right.
Exactly. My thing is though, I understand what you're saying about Dillian Whyte. He's going to come in at his best or whatever. But the last two fights that I've seen, I haven't seen very many. I think I've only seen maybe like 3 of his fights. But he's super reckless.
Yes, he is.
He just runs in with his face sticking out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know, just like Stevenson has that wicked left hand, Deontay has the counter of that with his right.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that it'll be an easy fight off of that merit and that merit alone. Dillian Whyte can be winning the fight all the way up into the fucking 11th round, and I still think he will run into just like the Polish dude, the Polish dude, Spilka. I believe Spilka was winning that fight up into that point where he fucked up and did a pirouette. I think the same thing is always plausible in every Deontay Wilder's fight. All his fights look the same until that one mistake.
Mm-hmm.
He's been bailed out off of that one mistake every single fight. And Dillian Whyte just has mistake written, like he's accident prone in my opinion, to those types of things over and over and over again. And then he got this big macho thing that he has about him that I don't know. It's hard for me to explain, but I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
That's the thing that I think can help him coming on to Deontay Wilder being as big as he is. This dude can punch. Wilder ain't got the sturdiest chin in the world. Come on to him and let him not find that mistake. Let him search for that mistake within your action, and his mind ain't quick enough to pick it up to see that mistake. It's easy to see that mistake when it's a little Spilka and he ain't bringing the pressure to you. You can stand up in your tall tree, put your scope on, and bam. But
I don't know how tall. I don't know how big Dillian Whyte really is.
6'4", big man.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a big guy.
Okay, see, I didn't know all that, but I don't know. I just see him running into one of them goofy ass right windmills from Deontay, and it just be a wrap.
Yep.
Claressa Shields, the hot name really from the U.S. team in the Olympics. She's basically being positioned as the face of contemporary women's boxing. Well, in only her 4th professional bout coming up, August 4th, I believe, in her hometown of Flint. She's going to get a world title shot. That super middleweight champion, Nikki Adler. I will go to you, Bo, and Adrian. Your thoughts on Shields getting a world title fight so soon? Is she ready? How good is Adler? Your thoughts?
I'm going to let Bo go on Adler because I'm not familiar with her, and I really didn't have a chance to look at her. But as far as Claressa Shields goes, I think Claressa is. I personally don't think she's ready for a title fight. I think she needs to learn to be a little bit more disciplined in the ring. And I've noticed that she has a tendency to gas out kind of fast. I don't know if that's just from being excited about boxing or, trying to find her rhythm or what. But the bottom line is she seems to gas out. And I know she's not doing that many rounds, but she seems to get tired really fast. And I think they need to work on her stamina some.
Bo, if you're around, unmute your mic, brother.
What's going on?
We're talking Claressa Shields here. She got a world title fight coming up in August. Is she ready? Is it too soon? The woman that she's fighting, Nikki Adler, how good is she? Your thoughts on all of this?
Is she ready? She's ready for. I think she's ready for Adler. She wasn't ready for them to put in there with Christina Hammer. She wasn't ready for that, and that was the track they were trying to put on. You know, they were trying to put on that fast track for Christina Hammer. And I'm like, no, you ain't ready for Christina Hammer. She's probably more ready for Adler. But my thing with Claressa Shields is I'm not seeing the same Claressa Shields I saw in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Claressa Shields in the Olympics box.
Right.
I don't know if she's trying to like, and then Jacob alluded to this earlier. We're starting to see personality traits of Claressa Shields transform over into her fighting.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And we're starting to see the personality traits of her go over into her fighting, because when she was in that Olympic team and they had like more control over what she did and more control over her coaching, and she was on that world tour, she did what she knew she had to do to listen to them to continue fighting. Now that she's on her own, she's doing like the old saying, you know, when you become grown and you get on your own, you know, you kind of show your ass a little bit.
Right.
Well, that's what she's starting to do, and we see it in her fight, because I never seen her get hit this much in the amateurs. She's actually, and I said this on the show, she's regressed, in my opinion.
Me too. I feel
from
that
her
way
amateurs
too.
to her pros. But the woman she's fighting is not that big of a mover. She has good power, but against limited competition. So I like Claressa Shields. I like her ability better against this woman than Christina Hammer. So this is the fight she should win if she goes back to what she needs to do. Because the girl she's fighting, all she got to do is box, and she can beat this girl. She's flat-footed, and she waits to land. So she can win this fight. But the problem is, with the way she's been fighting lately, I don't know. I really don't know.
Bo, don't you think she needs to learn to be a little bit more disciplined in the ring? And she has a tendency that I've noticed in her past couple of fights, is that she's gassing out.
No, that's not discipline. That's her just wanting to do what she wants to do.
No, and I honestly, yeah. Well, then again, I mean, just sometimes it's not being disciplined, but I think maybe they need to remove her from Michigan. Period.
No, they need to remove her from herself. See, she's been fighting in her hometown. I think they need to take her out of that environment. No, not just that. Go back to the incident that we saw at the Andre Darrell incident, when she jabbed out on the reporters. Then, which we haven't talked about, but there was another incident with the Shakur Stevens when he was going at Mayweather's daughter, and she chimed in talking.
That's what I mean by discipline. That's what I mean by discipline.
No, that's probably who she's always been, but we haven't been able to see it.
Right.
And we're seeing it now, and it's transforming over into her fighting.
Yeah. But then she needs to learn how to separate those two. Period.
Exactly. I agree 100%.
It also helps if she hits something. Just saying.
Yeah, really. I mean,
I was telling Michael,
she looked horrible.
I have nothing against Claressa Shields. Like I said, I have nothing against a fighter outside of being in the ring, because that's all they're there for me, is that entertainment is in the ring. Whatever they do outside of the ring, that's their own business.
Right.
But inside of the ring, it, just like you said, it's like since the Olympic stuff that she's regressed. Like, she's swinging at the air. You know, it takes more out of you to swing and miss than when you swing and you land. And it seems like that's all I'm seeing. It's like she's swatting at flies in front of her. She's more wild than she was inside because I was excited for her pro debut. I was like, man, she's gonna really make some waves. And then, you know, she gets in here and it's like, womp, womp, womp. I'm not even, you know, excited Oh, Claressa Shields is fighting. I'd rather put my money to go see Heather again or the Serrano girl, whatever her name is. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not interested really to see Claressa fight because of those things. And like you said, her shitty attitude or personality
Right.
really, really throws me off because
It throws me off.
women's boxing is already struggling as it is. And then you're making her the face of boxing, and her attitude and personality is poopy. They don't need that right now.
Yeah, it's almost like she's trying to get a knockout whenever she gets in the ring.
Well, that's what she is trying to get, Adrian. That's the thing. She's not like, it's kind of hard to explain, but I
know,
think,
but you got to be disciplined too at the same time. You know, I mean, it's like.
But she's finally on that stage. She's getting this fast track push. She's starting to believe her own height. I mean, come on, put it together. You 20-something years old, man. Come on, please. You couldn't tell me nothing when I was doing stuff like that and wrestling amateur. You couldn't tell me crap either. I had to get knocked on my ass to finally realize, okay, let me slow down. Think about, like, I'll give you a perfect example is Floyd. After Floyd fought Emmanuel Augustus, Floyd said after that fight, man, I can't fight like this. I got to change this. That's what Claressa Shields is going to need.
Oh, I know I don't want to chime in on this a little because I know we're trying to move it in, Mike, but a little bit also of her personality traits is it's showing a little bit of some of the animosity that she had, like particularly towards Martin Esparza, because let's face it, when 2012 happened, when the 2012 Olympics were happening and they were highlighting female boxers, advertisers weren't highlighting Claressa Shields; they were highlighting Marlon Esparza.
I mean, she had every right to be mad then. I mean, she's bringing home the gold. She brought the gold home twice and still ain't getting no clout for it. I can understand that type of anger, but you got to let that shit go. You a pro now.
That's right.
That's in the past.
That's right.
You got to try to use your stage that you have now, the opportunity that you're getting now, to make it better for yourself. Get that name. Make people talk about you. Don't make them talk about you in a negative light, because it's just not affecting you. It's affecting the whole women's thing as a whole.
Exactly.
That's what I mean, though. She's still carrying that.
She's salty right now,
and that's bad to me because in a way, your story is almost absolutely perfect to highlight the evolution of women's boxing in a way, but in a lot of ways, just because of that attitude, you are defaulting to Katie Taylor in the UK, Nicola Adams in the UK, the Serrano sisters here. Yeah, the Serrano sisters here. Heather Hardy, who, by the way, just couldn't have fight anymore. She had to go to MMA recently to get a fight. You're letting yourself fall off a little bit, and it's over things that she'll eventually grow out of it. It's one of the things that happens as an adult. You grow out of it.
Yeah, but like Bo said, she's 27. I mean, she needs to have her.
Nah, she's like 21.
She's 21. She's a young.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
gonna grow out of it when she go to when she go catch a fight in Bellator and get fucking submitted. That's when she gonna fall out of it.
Right.
She gonna be humbled then.
Right.
It's gonna get more harder for her to get a decent fight here in women's boxing.
Move on to the final news segment here. I'll just go to Daniel, kind of set this up, and everybody can comment off of him. I didn't know this until the show began. Been long talked about Terrence Crawford fighting Julius Ndongo. Bob Arum trying to set that fight up. What I didn't know is where that fight will possibly end up network-wise. I'll go to you, Daniel, and kind of break this news for me, and everybody, please, any comments in the aftermath of Daniel here, please do so.
First, the main thing that goes off in it is, I'll put it out plainly, Top Rank made a similar deal with ESPN that Golden Boy has. But what they're going to do is they're not going to air like prospect fights. They're going to air big fights. Like we're going to talk about Pacaquiao Horn. Pacaquiao Horn is going to be live on ESPN. And apparently not so is going to be Terrence Crawford versus Julius Ndongo. And should it work out, Lomachenko versus Salido too. On top of that, Top Rank is in the making of putting out a streaming service that's similar to the WWE network. So in a way, this is Top Rank in a way breaking from HBO as far as having HBO build up their fight because there has been an issue with money. They said they have put in a bunch of pay-per-views. Top Rank just because they have been forced to do the money. But now they're looking like they're going to use ESPN as the vehicle to get regular fights in. And when they feel guys are pay-per-view ready, then they're going to go to HBO. So
that makes sense.
It makes sense. And the streaming service is an excellent idea because right now, and especially in the U.S., they're the only promoter in the U.S. that has the library that can do that type of network where you can do 24/7 programming.
Yeah.
And not to mention, I'm sorry, I'm about to say this, but not to mention, and this is probably what's gonna really gonna anger Floyd if somebody asks him about it in the whole McGregor circus. They own a good amount of Floyd Mayweather fights. And they can air those fights and Floyd won't see a dime from it.
Who are you talking about, HBO?
No, they own a lot of his fights at 130.
Yeah.
At 135.
Yeah.
Top Rank owns the rights to those fights. They're gonna air those out as much as they can now with Mayweather McGregor, and Floyd's not gonna see a dime from it.
Reaction to the news that Daniel kind of broke with Crawford and Ndongo being possibly on ESPN. Please, anyone.
I think, listen, I've always said this was a good move by Top Rank, and we knew eventually it was going to happen. When part of the lawsuit was to get rid of the exclusive rights that PBC had. I said once that happened, we knew, what move was going to be next. We saw Oscar De La Hoya do it. Now his numbers haven't been that great on ESPN too. But here's the thing: for it to really take off, the streaming thing, the library thing is great, but for it to really take off, because after you get past Pacaquiao, Crawford, and Lomachenko, where you got to put other fights together, and Top Rank don't necessarily have that big of a stable, and on top of that, we know ESPN has also been losing money. I mean, they got rid of half their staff.
Yeah.
At one point. You know what I'm saying? They got rid of half their staff, and I actually talked to somebody who actually works at ESPN, and they like, they budget ain't really all that big. It's just a little bit bigger than what HBO was willing to do too. So for this to be successful, Bob Arum is going to have to reach across the aisle and work with Al Heyman, and I can see that happening. He's going to have to actually make fights with Golden Boy. I mean, the only fight I've ever seen him make was Saddam Ali and Jesse Vargas. So it has the potential to explode and be there because they got the right ideas and everything in place. But for it to be successful, they're going to have to reach across the aisle. But I like the Terrence Crawford and Ndongo fight being on television because now you get a chance to give Terrence Crawford a bigger audience. Anytime you get to see Manny Pacquiao on TV, even if it is a fight that we think he'll win, that's an audience. I don't know how that time thing is going to work. And then, any of your prospect, Oscar Valdez, Jesse Magdaleno, and all these guys, it's good to give them a platform now to get to a bigger audience that we can probably see them more that we weren't being able to see on HBO.
If you want to go heavyweights, Top Rank just recently signed Brian Jennings. You could put Brian Jennings versus Andy Ruiz on ESPN, and it'll do good for both guys.
Yeah, but isn't the ultimate goal from that fight for signing Jennings is to put him eventually in the ring with Parker?
Yeah, but don't he need a fight to come back? Boy ain't been in the ring in a minute.
He don't care about that necessarily. Parker is the heavyweight he's really interested in. Parker needs a opponent after Fury. After Fury in October, September.
Yeah, it is in a way. Yeah, Bob Arum has been circling Joseph Parker, but
Parker didn't want to fight Deontay Wilder, so that's not Parker. His team. His team didn't want to fight Wilder, but I understand that move because you can get more money if you fight AJ than fighting Wilder. So that's the one you want to wait on.
Yeah, that was the whole thing about it. I think Bob turned himself off a little bit when he saw Joseph Parker in the last Deontay Wilder fight. Because maybe he seen, now Al Heyman's circling you.
Right. Because that's the only way Wilder's going to get out of fighting Sterling is if he does unification. you don't do no unification. The WBC, and I don't know why they're not pressing the gas on that. Like you announced Stiverne as as is mandatory. Y'all got to press the gas on that, man, and get Stiverne on out the way. So Wilder can be free to fight the Dillian Whytes and all of that stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, are you excited to see the Stiverne and Wilder fight again?
I'm not excited. Wait a minute. I'm not excited to see Wilder fight nobody that's not Luis Ortiz or Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
But the problem is, Adrian, is that Stiverne is not going to accept any step-aside money.
Step-aside money, right. That's why the whole thing with the Dillian Whyte, I was like, that's not going to go down because unless he talking about something, give me $7 million because I got to get, I may have to offer this dude 3 or 4 or 3 just to take that fight. That's the only way that makes sense to me because Stiverne said I'm not stepping aside. And the only way the WBC will sidestep Stiverne is unification. You don't get that unification. But they need to step on the gas. Though. They need to say, look, we're going to give y'all a date, y'all fight. They need to step on the gas.
Yeah, they do. I agree.
I think that was a plan, actually, the $7 million, because I think they were going to give probably, if I remember hearing correctly, they wanted to give Stiverne two of that million, because then it would have been like that, almost close to that $5 million he was going to get for fighting Povetkin.
Right.
So it makes sense in a way to do it, to ask for it that way, but the way unfortunately it got presented is, Wilder's pricing himself out. Like, no, there's a business reason to it.
Oh, I see now. Yeah,
there's a business reason to it. The problem, because at the end of the day, it's true. Like you said it yourself, Adrian. Are we really excited to see Deontay Wilder versus Bermane Stiverne 2, knowing how that fight turned out the first time?
Oh,
I'll be honest with you. Listen, I'm not excited about Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker, but at least it's a unification.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? But Wilder and Stiverne, if it's not Luis Ortiz, if it's not Anthony, like we talked about this, I said, listen, this is what Wilder need to do. If you really want to get to Joshua, this is what you need to do. Fight Stiverne, get Stiverne out the way, right? Now, if Vladimir Klitschko is going to fight Anthony Joshua, then you say, okay, look, I'm going to help you out. You got Kubrat Pulev and you got Ortiz. I'm going to take one of the mandatories off your hand. That's what Andre Ward did. I'm going to take one of the mandatories off your hand. I'm going to fight him. So after you get done and you get done with your mandatory, we clean and clear. We can do this. That's what he really should do.
mm-hmm.
No, because the other way, the Parker way is probably a little bit more enticing because, okay, you fight Parker.
Right.
You beat Parker. Now you can go to Joshua and saying, you got 2 belts? I got 2 belts. Let's do this.
Yeah, but Parker's not going to take that fight because if I'm a promoter, and see, this is why, that's why I say a lot of time when I've seen stuff in boxing, I don't call it ducks and all that stuff because I've seen it before. But if I'm a promoter and I'm looking at, okay, I got a guy who I know is beatable. Like Joseph Parker is more beatable than Deontay Wilder. I don't care what nobody says. So I got a guy and I'm like, okay, he's eventually going to lose this belt. Do I want him to lose it to Deontay Wilder or do I want him to lose to the guy that can give me $6 million? I'd rather he fight the dude that's going to give me $6 million.
Mm.
And that's what you go. That's why I'm saying. So for what Deontay Wilder need to do is if Deontay Wilder fights a Luis Ortiz and beats Luis Ortiz, then he'd be more enticing for Joseph Parker. Like, wait a minute, he just beat Luis Ortiz. It might be some money over there. He's got to do something to make people want to look his way.
Isn't this you just wanting to see Luis Ortiz fight?
Wait a minute, either Luis Ortiz or Kubrat Pulev.
No, I mean like in general, because we had to face facts. Joshua and Klitschko are kind of doing him dirty by having the rematch. Like, no, they're doing Ortiz dirty in a way.
Okay,
well, Luis Ortiz been getting dirty by the WBA since 2015, man. I mean, you got Shannon Briggs and Fairs Okendo fight canceled, and you could have threw Luis Ortiz in there. Like, you had a unification fight with Joshua and Klitschko, and nobody was the WBA champion. I don't know how that happened. So they've been doing him dirty since 2015, man.
Let's move on and start to kind of shut the show down and set the show down by previewing what's happening this weekend. I might have to split this up because we're a little bit pressed for time. Let's start with the fights tomorrow night. Main event, Robert Easter Jr. Fighting his mandatory against Shafikov. On the undercard of that, Julian Williams making his comeback fight from his defeat to Jamal Charlo returning to the ring, first time I believe since that fight. I want to focus first on Easter Jr. and Shafikov. To me, this is pretty much a 50-50 fight here. I will go to you on this one, Bo, and then you can follow up. Uh, Adrian. Um, Fights in, I believe, Easter's hometown of Toledo. Uh, I forgot the network. I'm having a bit of a brain freezing.
Bounce.
Oh, it's
Going to happen on Bounce tomorrow night. Shafikov coming off the win against Comey. Easter won the title against Comey. Both of those fights were really, really close. It could be argued that Richard Comey beat both of those guys. But still, yeah, 50-50 fight here. I'm going to make Easter the slight edge if he uses his height. But starting with you, Bo, and then Adrian, your thoughts on this?
okay.
We talked about this fight. Here's the thing. This is a very easy fight for Easter to win if he uses his height, he uses his range, and he uses his ring intelligence. The problem with Shafikov is, I don't know what it is about these calves, man. Provodnikov, Shafikov, these dudes make you fight these tough fights that you don't want to fight because they just keep coming at you and keep coming at you. And like Rance's Bartholomew had me damn near wanting to kick. Matter of fact, I spoke to Rance. I said, why did you not use your jab? Like, dog, you killing me. But it's an easy fight for him to win. Now, is he going to box him? I don't know, because he recently said that he's going to knock out Shafikov. And I'm like, oh, Lord, he might try to go toe-to-toe with this guy, and that's the wrong fight to fight.
Wrong.
But the blueprint to beat Shafikov is the same blueprint that David Benavidez used to beat Medina, which was start off going to the body. He has the height, he has the reach. Throw that jab, stab to the body. Weaken Shafikov in his body. That's where you're going to get this dude to slow down. That's where you're going to get this dude to probably go down if you try to knock him out. But at the very least, box. Use your length. Use your range. Don't smother your shots. Don't fight inside. Because Comey was having success when he was doing it. He just stopped doing it. Rance Bartholomew, the few times he did have success when he did it, but then he stopped doing it. Robert Easton Jr., that's what he's going to have to do if he wants to win an easy fight. If he wants to win a hard fight, go out there and give up all your advantages. Emmanuel Stewart used to say it best. Big men should fight big. That's why God made you a big man, because you should fight big. That's what Robert Easton Jr. needs to do. Fight big. Throw that stab to the body. Hit him at the body, a couple right hands. Get his boy some feints. Give him lateral movement. Those are the advantages to beating him.
Adrian?
Well, one thing I have to say about Shafikov is that, number one, he's fast. He's got some fast hands. He likes to fight on the inside. And he does have some power. The other thing is that he has he shoots a straight jab, and I mean, it's really, really nice. He has, like I said, he has fast hands, and he also likes to go to the body. So if Robert Easter, he's gotta use his height as an advantage, because Shafikov has a way of, he likes to fight on the inside. He reminds me of a Mexican boxer in a sense. He really does. Like I say, he has power. He's fast. He loves going to the body, and he stays in your face. He stays in your face. So Robert Easter is going to have to, he's going to have to use a lot of movement and jabbing to keep him off of him. I give it a 50-50 chance. I mean, I'd say it's a 50-50 fight also. This is a hard one to call, but Shafikov, when I watched him on a few of his fights, I was like, wow, this guy here. How tall is Easter?
5'11".
Really?
Yeah, he's Allen Iverson, 6 feet tall.
Oh, okay, okay.
He's 5'11", 6 foot. So
okay, yeah. He's gonna have a fight on his hands.
Go to you on this one, Daniel. Julian Williams, and you as well, Isha. Julian Williams fighting on the undercard of this fight Easter Shafikov main events against a guy named Joshua Conley. I don't know much about Conley, to be honest.
There's nothing about. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a ghost. He's
Oh,
pretty
he
much a ghost.
Yeah, I was
is.
gonna
You
say.
can't find anything about him except
Yeah, I
for
thought it
when
was
he
just me.
was in the amateurs. And there's a video on him sparring. Other than that, you can't find anything.
I interviewed Stephen Breadman. I be texting him and stuff, and I told Stephen Breadman, I got your boy J Rock winning by knockout. So he should win by
Exactly.
Oh, to start off, it's actually a good way to start because okay, Jamal's out of the division now, so you don't have to worry about facing him again. And if you're gonna try to position yourself to get after the champions pretty quickly, yeah, you're gonna go after Jared Hurd. So
Your thoughts?
So you think Jared Hurd a turkey, huh?
No, I just think of the probably the champions right now, 154. He's the greenest.
You didn't get the
Wait a
pun.
minute, there's Hurd, and who was the other guy?
Jermell.
It's Jamel.
No. God, he just Lubin.
Look,
I look at Lubin a lot. I'm for Lubin more than I am for Hurd. Hurd.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
Erickson
you.
Lubin.
Thank you.
Mike can tell you that I've been advocating for that boy since we seen him.
Yeah.
Since he
I'll
signed
tell
with
you what.
Mike. Him and
I think Jermell Charlo.
my mom.
I think Jermell Charlo gonna put the man works on Erickson Lubin. That's just,
You know what?
That's fine. I think it's gonna be a hell of a fight. That's what we're here for, right? To watch hell of a fight.
Exactly. But yeah, as far as like 154 and old boy J Rock Williams, hope he can bounce back strong. What rankings? I think when I looked at the rankings about a week ago, I remember he was close in the WBC. So like I was thinking about, okay, Yvonne is minor erosion. If Bavon is just left out and stuff like that, so you don't know, but hell, he might just be trying to take it all the way soft until it's like mandatory. This dude got hit pretty damn hard, man. You never know what they do to a young fighter like that.
Yeah,
but the thing is, Scorsese, my retort is, even in the loss, he did some good things against Charlo.
Yeah, he was winning the fight.
He landed some really good punches, particularly counter punches.
And rocked him. Let's not forget that.
It was just that Jamal, at that point, he was just so big and so strong for that division. Put that together with the boxing ability, he just threw too much for J Rock at the end. But that doesn't mean that J Rock
I got
wasn't
the fight for
garbage.
you. I got the fight for him.
Yeah.
Crossroads. It may be a crossroads too early for J Rock compared to this guy, but J Rock versus Tony Harrison.
That may be a bet.
I'll take that.
I'll take that.
Problem, but I don't trust Harrison's chin. And after 6 rounds, he fades.
Yeah, he fades real easy. I'll take that, and I'll take J Rock for the win on that.
Yeah, and the thing is, unfortunately, also with Tony Harrison, he's been a little bit bad luck. Like he gets into fights and then he gets clipped almost in the last round.
That's
who. It's because he becomes complacent. He gets bored, and then he just loses sight of what's in front of him.
Now we talk about doing some good things before you got knocked out. J Rock don't compare to what he was doing before he got knocked out. But
I don't know about that. I completely agree. Like the 2 fights that he lost, he was winning when he got knocked out. He was winning pretty handily until he got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
He was sparking Jared Hurd. I don't think J Rock had to get off the canvas from a jab. For everybody who don't remember, right? He wasn't just having smooth selling, but then you could argue back that Hurd isn't as good as Jamal Charlo, and that we don't know yet. They haven't been.
It takes Hurd a while.
Basically, you answered your own question, Scorsese. You basically just answered your own question there.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But I can't take it away from him until I see him together, because this Hurd can slap, man. He can fight. He got a chin on him.
It takes a while, though. It takes a while for her to get going.
That's what I mean.
No. It took a while because he had Tony Harrison in front of him.
I was just going to say, he took a while because of Tony Harrison. He knew if I take this dude into deep waters, he'll fold. That's the
point. That's my problem with Harrison. Yeah, he does well early, but there's always going to be a moment where, he gets caught.
Yeah.
Somewhere after round 7, it's always like the tail for Harrison, actually.
Because he goes back in his mind to the first time it happened to him. He can't let it go.
Harrison has a little bit of Amir Khan syndrome. There's always going to be a moment where he's going to even if he's doing well, he's going to get hit.
I look at the body.
I want to go that far, Mike. I want to go that far, Mike. Tony Harrison doesn't have a chin that's made in cotton candy.
It's not necessarily.
I would say his chin may be a little softer because Amir. I mean, we all go back to when he got sparked early on in his career, but anything after that, I mean, he takes some pretty hard punches.
Who?
It may not be cotton candy, but it's far. It's far.
Talking about Khan, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for the dude, but I'm just saying everyone has the same, it's the same rhetoric with him. Oh, he has a soft chin. I've seen him take some pretty strong fucking punches and not fold. Yeah,
but were they on the chin?
Yeah.
A lot of them were like tempo shots in the back of the head. If you catch him on the chin, what happened with Danny Garcia, and this is what happens with him.
But remember now, this is the same dude who got rocked by a faded lightweight in Diaz and put down.
Yeah.
So,
but this is a good fight for J-Rock. Like I said, it builds his confidence back up, and they'll decide what to go to the future because it's gonna be probably a three-way race. Whether a two-man race, who gets hurt? It's either gonna be him or it's gonna be Lubin.
I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see J-Rock versus Lubin.
No. Not right now.
I'm not ready to see my boy J-Rock take an L.
No, because the thing is, I'm with, like I said, I'm with Adrian on this one. If you give me in a fight and you put me Hurd versus Lubin, I'm gonna take Lubin. Right now.
Most will.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I am. Definitely.
Yeah. But at the moment, right now, like I said, J-Rock is probably going to try to position to get there because it's an easier way to get a title shot. And maybe, like I said, he may try to do a unification with Jamal as a way to vicariously get revenge on Jamal.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something now. That's a fight that there is a possibility that J-Rock would win because Jamal is not as good as Jamal. He's good, but he's not as good as Jamal. And Jamal was rocked by Jackson when they fought. Now, I'm gonna tell you, he was losing that fight.
Yep.
He was losing that fight until whatever happened to Jackson's eye happened, and he turned, and that's when it was over with. But other than that, and I wish I could see more of Jackson because I was really impressed with him.
Adrian, I got to correct you on one thing.
Go ahead.
Jamal is better than Jamal. Jamal got more dog in him than Jamal. Jamal don't got that dog in him like Jamal. Jamal is all dog. Jamal isn't.
Well, the Charlos are in the way.
Wait. I'm talking about Jamal. Well, so wait a minute. So you're saying that Jamal is better than Jamal?
No, Jamal has more dog in him. He just has more dog in him than Jamal.
He said that.
And Jamal. So you are saying that Jamal is better?
Yeah, Jamal has more dog in him than Jamal. Yeah.
That's what I said. I said Jamal is better. Jamal, yeah. Well, when he fought Jackson, he was losing that fight up until he thumbed or whatever happened.
So was Andy Lee. So Jackson is just like some of these guys we've been mentioning. They're fucking box. They can't take it where they need to be able to take it. Something happens. For Harrison, I think he needs to put on weight and go to 160 and see how his body responds. You shutting down bodily somewhere when you get hit. That means your body ain't healthy to me. J-Rock, you just got hit by a puncher. You need to try it again. But I don't know how to save. We just said his name, and I'm just losing it. The Jamaican. It's not Jamaican. Yes, he is. I can't.
Tony
Jackson
Harrison?
is no
Julian
Jackson. Jackson's Virgin Islands.
Yeah, Virgin Islands, Jamaican. Okay. Right. Julian Jackson, not Julian. Julius, right? Which one is it? Shit, they too close for me, brother. But anyways,
the Hawk's son. Just put it that way.
The point is, this dude can box. He can move. He throws punches and bunches on the move. To me, he fight like 118 pounders sometimes when he's on the back foot at 154 pounds, and he's giving people work. But these guys, man, they got to catch up with him. That's why the division's so dope to me, and I see what J-Rock gives when he come back.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make this point because Bo brought it into it a little bit. The Charlos always remind me of the Durrells, where one brother has the tenacity, while the other brother probably has the better skill. If you could just combine the two, you have a hell of a fighter.
Let's move on and talk about really the big fight of the weekend. Manny Pacquiao fighting Jeff Horn, going to happen in Brisbane, Australia. Going to air on ESPN2 late Saturday night, technically early Saturday morning. They're going to their telecast begin at 12:30 a.m. Sunday morning, late Saturday night. And I'll just go around here. Your thoughts on it? Does Horn have any kind of a chance? What do you expect to see from Pacquiao at this stage of his career?
He has the same chance that Algieri had.
Slim and none. In other words, he has slim to none.
Facts.
Anyone else?
Well, unfortunately, I won't be able to watch the fight. I'll be doing something extremely important, like absolutely fucking nothing.
More
facts.
I'm gonna jump out the deep end. I'm gonna jump out the deep end and say, this dude, two-handed fighter with power in both hands. I'm not saying it's the right fight for Pacquiao at all. I can't stand him for making it. He's robbing this dude of possibly getting a fight with a Bradley and showing that, hey, I can provide an account for this dude. He's robbing this dude to get in a fight that he's, somebody, a step-up fight, then another step-up fight, and saying, damn, I found myself in a championship bout rightfully. Pacquiao's robbing him of that, but he's paying him to whoop his ass. Now, the thing here is, this dude is way stronger than you. He's a natural young welterweight. Pacquiao ain't been fighting them to me. He ain't been getting in the ring with them. Jeff Horn, man, the feet are underrated. He's coming towards you to fight you. The looping shots, the body work, tough, getting off the canvas. You get hit by a headbutt and it's called a knockdown. You get off the canvas like, okay, bring it on. Let's keep going. Then you knock your guy down. I get it. It's not the best competition in the world, but it's the same kind of competition that other 16-0 fighters are fighting for the most part. He's done his part. Not expecting him to come in here and say, I don't know how to lose yet. But, everybody got a plan till they get hit. And Pacquiao can probably still hit. Jeff Horn got to put them hands on him first, man. He got to be willing to take those shots. If he's willing to take the shot and give some back, shit, we got a fight on our hand. I really believe that.
I promise you on everything I love, I hope Pacquiao gets sparked. I hope he gets Dayquil like the Marquez fight. But I just don't see it happening.
Not in this sense. Not in this. It's like I guess Scorsese's argument. I've seen Jeff Horn fight. He does have very underrated footwork. He does. Power. Yeah, he does, and he has power in both hands.
He does.
The thing about it,
to go to the body too.
Yeah, the part about it though is Pacquiao, for as old as he is, I think he's 37, 38 right now. He hasn't lost that much of a step when it comes to speed.
Yeah,
and when it comes to footwork. And then that area, that's the area where I think he'll falter and coming in for, and Horn will probably fade out later on, because until he reaches that plateau where it just falls off dramatically, I still have to say, as much as it grates me, unfortunately, Pacquiao's the best welterweight in the world by default. Until that steep slope happens.
I don't know now. Errol Spence keep improving.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say outside of Errol Spence, yeah, because that dude has the chip of his shoulder the size of his home state. So I'll leave it there. But Pacquiao's probably going to use the angles. He's probably going to use the footwork to beat it. He probably still has faster footwork than Horn at this stage. But at the end of the day, somehow, some way, Horn wound up being the mandatory. So it's all about really what's going to be next for Pacquiao at this stage, because Bo hit it on the head a little bit ago. He has to sit down with Al. He has to say, okay, we have to do a Sean Porter. We have to do a Lamont Peterson. Hell, we may even have to do a Sammy Vasquez or Luis Collazo for a little bit.
Not going to happen.
For
I'm
who?
going to tell you why. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Pacquiao's in the perfect position because he with the WBO to where he could fight a bunch of mandatories that we probably ain't going to like. Like, you got Horn, you got Matisse, you got Vargas, you got Skeet, you got some who the fuck. You got Ponomarev, you got Varon, You got all these dudes in the top 10, and number 10 is Bradley. And they can make 3 or they can make 2 or 3 more fights like that before they probably look over that way towards Al Haymon.
Oh no! If you mentioned Matisse, I love to see Pacquiao Matisse.
Yeah, that's probably the only one. And after that, it's like you got nobody who's really challengeable until you get. If you want to say Bradley, I can't even say that no more.
You don't want to say that. And the unfortunate side effect is this, unfortunately. And this, I blame this more on Freddie Roach than I did with Manny. They still want Floyd. They still want Floyd again.
No, they use him to sell their pay-per-views, man. Floyd said that a long time ago. He said, they always bring up my name to sell their pay-per-views.
That's right. He did say that. And it's true. It's very true.
Okay, because to me personally, I don't think Manny believes that himself. I think he knows that the better man won that fight. To me, it's more Roach. Like, he just can't accept that Floyd beat his top guy. And beat him handily at that.
For me, in terms of this fight, I hear what you're saying, Scorsese, in terms of the underrated footwork and whatnot, that he's a big guy. The problem is, if Pacquiao won, if he still has the speed, I don't know if Horn can catch up to him. And in order to really, really catch Pacquiao, you have to bring a level of experience on the one hand and real boxing brain intelligence on the other hand. And I don't know at this stage of his career, Horn has that. I don't think he has the brain, the intelligence to set Pacquiao up and spark him out like Marquez did. Like, to give him hell from a technical, scientific standpoint like Marquez did in all 4 fights. And I'll continue to say this. It can be argued that Manuel Marquez beat Manny Pacquiao in all 4 of those fights.
Yeah.
And we saw what Floyd did there. So from just the physical thing, I can understand it. But from an intellectual's perspective, I just don't know if Horn can just bring that to the table unless Pacquiao just makes a big mistake or unless he gets old in that night on the night.
Go get him. You go get him and make him feel you in his calf muscles. You go get Pac. If you Jeff Horn, you say you a little guy. Yes, I'm coming to you. I'm throwing hard shots. I'm going to your body. You got to go get him, and the man can pick.
But there's a way to do it. There's a way
right.
to.
And Horn has a tendency to drop his left when he throws a punch, and I think Pacquiao's going to eat him up. I wish it was a closer fight because I feel the same way. I'd like to see Pacquiao get knocked out again.
When he's done that with other people, when he's dropped his hands with, sometimes I've seen him drop his hands with people, and it's to bait his counters out. And other times I see him to bait them to throw so he can do some work. And other time he's keeping his defense up. He's just he's schooled.
Yeah, but that depends on who he's fighting because a lot of the people he's fought, I don't even know.
It's levels. It's definitely levels, and Pacquiao is killing the level he has fought. But right. Jeff just got to be here now, and I kind of hope he's not Jesse Vargason through this fight, going backwards. Beat a big man. You are a knockout puncher at welterweight. People don't stand up to the power of Jeff Horn. You the knockout puncher to the body, to the head. Go for it, man. This your shot. That's how I see it.
Well, he might surprise us, and he might surprise us and knock Pacquiao out. You heard it first here. He might. He might.
He might. Yeah. I hear the hesitancy in your voice when you say "might" too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it.
You never know. You never know. Who would have thought that Marquez would have knocked him out? Not down, but out.
Out. Yeah, but that was really the perfect shot at the perfect moment.
No, that's called karma, Adrian. Pacquiao had that coming. He was stupid to accept that fight in the first place. He got what he asked for.
Yeah. And you know what? I loved it because Marquez was waiting on it. Marquez is a great counter puncher, and I'm telling you, he stood there and waited on Pacquiao to come into that punch.
I'll say this:
Pacquiao he kept tempting fate every time he got back in the ring with Marquez. He kept tempting fate. And it caught up to him.
Yep.
I see that Jeff Horn got a better right hand than Timothy Bradley, Manny's career opponent as of late. He got a better right hand than Jesse Vargas, and to be honest, I think when he leaves with that right hand and he gets under your hooks, he gets under your counters and gets away. I think he can really. If Chris Algieri can land those straight right hands, I think Jeff Horn can do the damage, man. I think he could do the damage to Manny Pacquiao, and
I think he has a chance. I think he has a chance. I do.
That's an old man he's fighting. He got to treat him like an old man. When a man is an old man, you got to treat him like an old man. Take something out the Joe Smith book and treat his ass like an old man. Try to do the Thomas Williams to Adonis. Treat his ass like an old man until you learn that, yo, this dude ain't an old man, sleep on the canvas. And it's a wrap from there. I can't respect Jeff Horn if he goes in this fight and he does the Jesse Vargas and he's just scooting around the damn ring. I'm going to say, well, get the fuck out of here. Come on, man. That's how I look at it. That's me.
That's the way you have to look at it in a way, because it is boxing. Like, unpredictable things have happened. We remember last year we did see Tony Bellew discover he has a Homer System head and actually beat David Haye.
Mm-hmm.
So there's precedence to this thing. The unfortunate side effect when it comes to it in this sense for this fight is, first of all, it's the myth of Pacquiao. He has grown into such a myth, particularly in that part of the world, where almost any other fighter, not named Floyd Mayweather, can stand as his equal. So everybody's going to look like a peon compared to when it comes to Manny. The problem, whole aspect of it is, when it comes to Jeff Horn, I know the punch you're talking about, Chrissy, that right hand, if he can loop it on it, he has to catch him first. That's the problem, though.
I think it's a straight
and he
loops it. I think he throws it straight coming forward, and then he loops it when you're inside the pocket with him, or basically just boxing and somebody's at range with him, he can loop it, and knock him down just like the punch that Marquez has. But I think the one that pays dividends, you got to come forward with Pacquiao, and you got to be fighting when he doesn't want to fight. I think that's what he needs to do. Pacquiao ain't throwing as much volume as he used to.
No,
sometimes he not wanting to fight. Jeff Horn is volume. Jeff Horn is consistent energy, and that's what he need to do with Pacquiao. It should not change based on who you fight. And I use this argument with Jamel Charlo. If you gonna be you be you with no matter who you fighting. That's how I look at it, and you can't go wrong with that. You got to be you.
Well, he has to. I agree with Scorsese with this aspect. He can't go in that ring with overwhelmingly amount of respect for Pacquiao, that he gives him too much respect. And don't go in there and show him, listen, like Joe Smith or Bernard, I don't give a shit who you are. I'm here to win. I'm here to fight. I'm here to get at you. That's how he has to go in there. He has to actually go in there like that, and try to make it an ugly fight. Try to make Pacquiao make a mistake that you can time on.
Right.
That's his only chance, But the question is, does he have the ability to do that over the course of 12 rounds without getting discouraged if he's getting hit on? That's the question.
You mentioned a good example. I'm going to mention probably the better examples in the lower weight classes. What Eric Morales did to Daniel Zaragoza.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is what Jeff Horn has to do to Manny Pacquiao if he wants to win. That's
a damn good example, Daniel.
Yeah, and I think we're going to start to close the show down on that note because, it's technically after midnight. We've been doing it for a while.
Oh, wow. You're out ahead of me.
And I want to say before I go around the panel here, first off, we talked about how Rigo likes to go off on Twitter. Well, hat tips to Isha. She sent me a tweet that Rigo just put out tonight, in which he said he was notified. I'm going to quote him here verbatim. I was notified there is no fight with the great and amazing Vasyl Lomachenko. Apparently, one dangerous Uber driver was ahead of me. So that's Rigo being Rigo on Twitter. So that's him.
Damn.
And, I know, right?
Isha, that means your boy's coming back, Salido.
So that was Rigo. And I want to say here before I go around, things got heated tonight, particularly when it came to Stevenson. But I want to say here that there is no. While the debate got heated, while the debate was passionate, I don't feel there's a kind of a level of disrespect, no matter how folks kind of went at Scorsese, and he returned in kind. At the end of the day, there is a level of respect between each and every one here. We just have our opinions. I give folks a platform to express those opinions. And at the end of the day, things are all good. We're still all cool with each other. And we'll be back here rocking and rolling again the following week or whenever there's a next episode. So I just want to make that disclosure for folks who may be listening to this later on via YouTube, via iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, Player FM. No matter how hard we go at each other, no matter how hard folks go at each other, at the end of the day, that's just bottom line, a level of respect for everybody here, no matter how passionate, how heated things get. So yeah, I want to go around the panel here to start closing things down. Ladies first, starting with Adrian Ricino, first time here on Pound for Pound Boxing Report. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything else with you, let the folks know where they can find you.
They can just reach me on Facebook. I'm not with Truth and Facts about boxing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I do. You know, I've been on the show several times. But they can reach me on Facebook. I also have my Instagram. I'm trying to straighten that out. But my Facebook page is just Adrienne, ADRIENNE Yoshino, which is YOSHINO.
Yeah, you know, this has kind of been this is her appearance on the Pound Box Report. It's been in the plans for a minute. She was supposed to be on the Ladies Love Boxing show, but due to some family issues, family emergencies, she couldn't make it that night. I want to say to you personally while you're on, I will say, well, not congratulations, but I'm glad that situation between you and your daughter, I'm glad that she's getting better. Thoughts and prayers still to her and continuing improvement. So yeah, Adrian Yoshino, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Michael.
No problem. I really hope to have you back on here again. Isha,
I would love to be.
Indeed. Isha, the casual boxing fan. It's been a minute since you've been on here. For folks who want to talk the sweet science or anything else, let the folks know where they can hit you up.
I'm on Twitter all the time at exactly what he said. The casual boxing fan.
DACASUAL boxing BOXINGFAN.
Exactly. Holla at your girl. I got tons of questions. Help me be enlightened. Thank you.
I'll go to you, Scorsese. Like I was saying, no matter how the passionate the debate gets, we're gonna still be cool. We're still gonna be all good at the end of the day. For folks who want to talk the sweet science or anything else, let the folks know where they can hit you up.
Mike, speak for yourself. I don't like both. No, I'm joking. Yeah. They know what it is, man. They listen to us before. They know we gonna disagree. We gonna go at it, and it's gonna be a good show. But I'm on Twitter looking at it right now at My Low Place. One word, just all together. And you get at me on YouTube at Low Place #MLPF. And I make videos when I can, talk boxing with anybody who want to talk it, man.
Daniel from the Inscriber, for folks who want to talk the sweet science. For folks who want to follow you, going at T-Cots, conservative trolls on Twitter and whatnot, clapbacking against them. Or for folks who want to follow you talking the NBA, specifically the Miami Heat, let the folks know where they can find you.
You can find me, folks, on Twitter at Raucus99. Said I'm gonna have an article up tomorrow because obviously we need to talk about a lot of boxing this year, and yeah, it's the start of NBA free agency.
Indeed. Last but okay, I'm sorry, I thought he was finished.
I said so get ready, folks, because it's already gotten crazy.
And last but certainly not least, Brother Bo from Truth and Facts About Boxing. For folks who want to talk the sweet science, for folks who want to follow the adventures between you and your daughter. Funny videos, by the way. I keep saying they are YouTube series in waiting. For folks who want to follow you and hit, let the folks know where they can hit you up.
You can't spell low life without the L, and I'll be handing that boy out plenty of L. Just follow us on Twitter. But you can find me at Truth and Facts About Boxing on YouTube. You can also follow me on Twitter at capital T for Truth _ capital F for FactBox1. Instagram, same thing, lowercase truths and facts about boxing. Find me like right here, pound for pound, Ring IQ, the Hands of Fire podcast. Shout out to Gail and Jacob and Gus. They haven't been here, but man, shout out to them. Also, I want to give a special shout out to my Mark Robinson and all them guys down there at the Junior Olympics, Mark and Michael Irvin with the kids down there at the Junior Olympics. Man, I hope they do it and do it right and just, this sport of boxing. We love it. Follow us. And Scorsese is right 95% of the time, but when he's talking about Adonis, that's that 0.5 where that boy don't know what he's talking about. But he's my dog. But he's still my dog. He's still I'll mess with him, but I ain't gonna let y'all fuck with him.
And let the folks know about the apps. You in the app development game?
Oh yeah, me and my guy, we developed a couple apps, Zombie Hunters, Basketball Bounce, and my daughter is going for the summer, but my son will be here, so be ready because he gets physical. He gets real physical. He ain't like my daughter. He gets stupid physical. So be ready.
Indeed. For folks who wanna talk boxing with me, talk music with me. And I will just say right now on the music tip, I refuse to sign up with Tidal to get that new Jay-Z because nope. Or talk fitness because the brother's trying to get in shape. Black fitness all day, hashtag Black Fitness. You can follow me on Twitter, brother JR at brother JR76. As I said to begin the show, if you want to check out all things pound for pound box report, please go to the blog page, P4P Boxing Report. .wordpress.com is the link. Check the right of the page to find the pages on Facebook, Twitter, G+, YouTube, Tumblr, as well as find links to where to listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, as well as Mixcloud. On the next episode, I don't know if they'll be next week or not because there's some dry periods in boxing. To be honest with you, I may take another week off. But when we will return, we will definitely recap Pacaquiao and Horn. We will definitely recap Easter Jr., Shafikov, as well as Julian Williams. And if I take next week off, I will come back talking about those fights as well as previewing the Burchell's Muro fight. One of Scorsese's dudes, Jezreel Corrales, he's going to be fighting on that undercard. Chris Eubank Jr. fighting Abraham. So that's what I may do. But again, episode Pound for Pound Boxing Report, episode 173. For Adrian Yoshino, for each of the casual boxing fan, for Scorsese, for Daniel Carpio, the inscriber, from Truth and Facts. I'm your host, Michael. This has been another episode. Hope you had a good time. It got heated, but we're all good. Everybody have a good evening. Good night.
Thanks, Michael.
Night.